talking about when the Colts made the trade for him. I got a text from my buddy Frank Wright. He goes, "You're not going to believe who we just traded for." I thought maybe a wide receiver, maybe a running back, whatever. And then he said who it was, and he was just flat out giddy that he got this guy, and they were able to plug him right in the middle of their defense.
Yeah, so right. He's 6'7". We're talking about maybe the best defensive player football has been for multiple years. That's Aaron Donald. And Aaron Donald is 6'1", 280. Aaron Donald has 84 sacks since he's entered the National Football League. He's in his 7th year. Multiple Defensive Player of the Year awards. This guy, again, to me, is in the weights. Talk about all-time defensive players. Reggie White, Lawrence Taylor. You're going to talk about Aaron Donald.
Yeah, Aaron Donald, well, he uses his size to his advantage. 6'1", is very short for an interior defensive lineman, but he gets up underneath everybody's pads. He has to be double-teamed, so what's that do? That helps the other pass rushers. And what it does for their whole defense, for the Rams, because they're so good up front with Aaron Donald, that the back end of it with Jalen Ramsey, the best corner in football, they can play safe because they know their pass rush is going to get to the quarterback.
Was Reggie White polite to you once he pancaked you?
Oh, yes, very much.
Very polite. I know.
Hey, folks, and now let's get some hurry-up comments. I'll throw out a topic, and these guys will give a quick response. A really close race in the AFC South. What wins it, the Titans or the Colts? I'm going to say the Titans, and I'll say it for this reason, because their offense, even when they're behind, it's not what we think it is anymore. Yes, they still have Derrick Henry, but Ryan Tannehill has proved that he can bring you back from way down, and if you have to rely on him to win the game, he can get it done. He's throwing the ball great, has a good group of wide receivers, good O-line, and a very good tight end in Johnny Smith.
And I agree with you, Phil. When you look at that offense with Ryan Tannehill, but even the defense, I know that they're on the bottom end of the spectrum right there, but the way they play offense, they're able to run the football, I think that helps that defense. Indianapolis is getting help. They are going to be reckoned with down the stretch, but I would take Kansas Titans.
Yeah, I remember that run they went on last year where Derrick Henry really got hot. I don't see too many games like last week where he's going to be shut down under 70 yards. And like you said, A.J. Brown, Corey Davis, Johnny Smith, guys like that can help out that running game. The play action is a big part of why.
Normally I wouldn't agree with you guys because it's Frank, it's the Colts, and I'm rooting for him and everything else, and sure I am. But I go back to week 1. The Colts lost to Jacksonville. That Jacksonville loss is going to cost them, I believe, the AFC South title.
So let's come back around this way. Will both the Browns and the Ravens make the playoffs?
No. I say the Browns make it. I think it's the Steelers and the Browns out of the AFC North. And the one thing that I do know, and Coach knows this from playing in this division, and the intensity that goes along with playing in this division. Kevin Stefanski has changed the culture in Cleveland. There's no question about that. This is one of those games where you have to win in your building if you have arrived. So this is a huge game. I disagree with Jim Rowe. This is a huge game for the Browns.
It is a huge game. For a long time, the Ravens have been the bullies on the block. I mean, they've bullied these young teams that were always trying to figure it out. When the Browns became that team that you respect, all of a sudden, now this is where you make your statement. And because of the run game, I feel like these guys are going to be the playoff team and not the Ravens.
I think all three are going to make it. So I think the Baltimore Ravens are 7-5. They're desperately playoff run right now, and I think they need to get in this uncomfortable situation. I think for the Cleveland Browns, can they go after a big game? They need to do it 2 weeks in a row. That's something they have to prove.
I think the Ravens will find a way. Lamar Jackson, their defense, they just have so many good players. They got to find a way to get it done here down the stretch, which I think they will. The Cleveland Browns, it's all about their running game and all this. What did they do last week? You think it's going to be about the run game? Baker Mayfield came out and showed everybody he can put the team on the back of his shoulders if he gets one of Coach's favorite expressions. Nothing wrong with really comfortable. Yep. All right, folks, the NFL Today picks presented by Allstate. Who will protect home field today? Upset special, protecting home field. That will be the Las Vegas Raiders, meaning the Colts.
Kind of upset about my upset special. Pittsburgh loses one game, now they're underdogs. So that's my really upset special.
I'm not really upset about the upset. I got the Washington football team over the 49ers. That defense line's going to get it. I got the Chicago Bears protecting home field. Okay, going to take on the Texans today. Cold weather. I like Chicago.
What's in it for you?
Our fees are straight shoots, and we do better when our clients do better. At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different.
Coach Smith gave me an opportunity at 17, my senior year in high school, to buy the original Mike Sub Shop, now called Jersey Mike Subs. What does it take to get involved? It takes commitment, energy, and sharing your life with your team and your customers. It was my first job and turned out to be my life's work. So join our team today and grow from within. And who knows, maybe you will become an owner like I did.
My perfect Saturday? That's easy. Oh, my word! An NFL Network doubleheader. First, Allen and the Bills charge into Mile High to take on Locke and the Broncos. Touchdown, Denver! Oh, you think we're done? We're just getting started. McCaffrey and the Panthers head to the frozen tundra to battle Rodgers and the Packers. Let's go! Let's go! An extra day of football? Yes, yes, please. NFL Saturday, only on NFL Network.
NFL Today on CBS Sports is presented by Ram Truck. Built to serve.
And welcome back to NFL Today. And now Amazon takes you out to the sights and sounds of the game between the Chiefs and the Dolphins. So let's get you out to Miami with our announcers, Jim Nance, Tony Romo, and Tracy Wolfson.
JP, it's a gorgeous day in South Florida, Kansas City, and Miami coming up next here on CBS. Hello, friends, and happy holidays. Jim Nance along with Tony Romo and Tracy Wolfson. The AFC playoff picture, it's wild and it's wide open. The Chiefs have already clinched the playoff berth. They clinched the division with a win today. Miami right now currently in the 6th spot at 8-4. And Tony, this Miami team is one of the great turnaround stories. You start to see it at the end of last year, winning 5 of their last 9 games. But pretty impressive what they've done.
It's very impressive. I feel like Flores, the head coach coming in, changing the culture, and then allocating the resources this offseason, you're really seeing a great program being put in place. And I'll tell you, they're really good. I do think today's the one that we want to see, though, right? Because you're going against the champs. So these guys are obviously really good. How good are they for the Miami Dolphins? I think we're going to find out today.
They've been led in large part by their defense, but that defense today is going to face the guy that also is going to help you measure just how good you are. Patrick Mahomes, just sensational yet again. Back to the field, by the way, where he won Super Bowl MVP 10 months ago.
Exactly. We're running out of superlatives, really, for him. I mean, he's in rare air right now. He's playing at a level that I've only seen quarterbacks play at a few times during their career. You don't know if this guy's able to just do it year in, year out. But it's special to be that aggressive and not make mistakes.
Well, he's got a couple of guys that he loves to target. They're already each over 1,000 yards on the season. Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce. They're just game breakers, these two.
They are. Keep using the word quintessential game breakers, Jim. What does that mean? I'm not sure. But these guys are special because you have to allocate so many guys to guard them on every play. Either one can beat you on each. You guys over 1,000 yards already at this point. Situationally, you got to guard Kelce, but you can't let Tyreek Hill wreck the game, especially early. Guard them both, double team them, make someone else win.
I know you're looking forward to seeing for the first time Tua in person. This will be his 6th start. He's done some very impressive things so far.
Yeah, he's done a great job protecting the football. It's winning the football. You know, as a quarterback, that's like your number 1 job, especially when you have the number 2 scoring defense. You can win a lot of games just by not giving the other team the ball. And he's done a great job starting off his career. I'm seeing him learn every game. He's getting smarter. He's getting quicker with the release. He trusts it a little more, so we'll see if he keeps developing that way.
He just tipped our hand a
program on the stair lifts. My customers coming back to me saying, I'm so glad I bought this.
It's Home Care, Central Pennsylvania's leader in mobility products.
Your picture seems smart because the sandwich is so tangy and delicious. It has inspired songs, opinion pieces, even memes. It's back. But you don't need to be told that because a calendar reminder already did. This is a sandwich due to all my reputation. A sandwich you simply cannot eat before documenting. McRib is back. The most important sandwich of the year.
Here at Renewal by Anderson, our employees mean the world to us. They're family. And when someone in our family is celebrating their birthday, we go big. Join us in honoring Linda Johnston, our general manager, and we are giving you the gift. We're extending our sale through December 15th. So for every 8 or more windows you buy, we'll give you a free entry door. That's right. For every 8 or more windows you buy, we'll give you a free entry door. Our most popular sale extended through December 15th. Renewal by Anderson, your trusted local window and door experts.
It's more important than ever to shop local first. And Downtown State College is the place to find the perfect gift this holiday season. With dozens of unique shops, restaurants, and our magical light-up downtown display. There's free parking and curbside pickup. You still can't decide? Go online and buy a Downtown State College gift card. Check us out at downtownstatecollege.com or find us on Facebook. Shop local this holiday season. Shop Downtown State College.
The Kansas City Chiefs return to the site of where they won last year's Super Bowl, February the 2nd, 2020, against the San Francisco 49ers. Patrick Mahomes was the MVP as Kansas City won their first Super Bowl in 50 years. They return to Miami to take on the Dolphins today. Thank you for tuning in and watching my live reactions, play-by-play, live right here on YouTube. I'm your host, Encyclopedia Sports, Cohen Luke 96. As always, be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Links in the description below. Hit that thumbs up button. Share hashtag NFL, hashtag Chiefs, hashtag Dolphins. Chat questions and comments, super chats, super stickers. Always greatly appreciated as well. Having a little trouble getting that pulled up with some technical difficulties right here off the bat. But thank you for tuning in and watching. Hopefully we'll get all that figured out by the time we kick off here momentarily from Hard Rock Stadium in South Beach, Miami, Florida, between the 11-1 Kansas City Chiefs, their lone loss against the Raiders, who they avenged that loss against a couple weeks back on Sunday night on the road. So split with a win today. They'll win the division, clinch a playoff berth. Miami at 8-4, arguably the best season they've had in quite a while. Tua Tagovailoa, quarterback at Alabama, leading the way, taking over for Ryan Fitzpatrick about a month into the season. Going to be a Rookie of the Year candidate up there with Justin Herbert, due to the fact, of course, Joe Burrow now done for the season with an injury. We've seen way too many injuries this year in football, as mentioned throughout the year, but thank you once again for tuning in and watching. We're about to kick off with KC and Miami. Hashtag KC versus MIA. Hopefully the Dolphins won't be missing in action today by any means, but a beautiful 81-degree day, they say, down in South Beach, Miami, Florida. Live reactions, play live right here on YouTube. Game on CBS. We'll have hello friends, Jim Nance, Tony Romo, and Tracy Wolfson on the call. Honestly, in my opinion, as Kansas City returns to the Sunshine State for the second time in 3 weeks, they beat the Bucs 2 weeks ago before defeating the Broncos last Sunday night at home. As Miami will be wearing throwback uniforms. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe once again on social media. Whatever offense has more explosive plays is going to win this game. Kansas City going to kick off. So the Dolphins back deep to receive. We do have some fans in the stands attending today's game. Touchback on the opening kickoff. So 1st and 10, Miami from the 25-yard line. Right to left across your television screen, radio and audio dial. Tua Tagovailoa, number 1, took the 3 off his jersey. 5th overall pick this past April at Alabama. The future, no doubt about it, of the Miami Dolphins. He's going to start out in the shotgun, actually in the pistol, running back behind him, 1st and 10 from 25, motion man near side. He's going to fake the give, roll out, little play action right off the bat, and then has a man at the 44-yard line. That's Devontae Parker. But they say he was out of bounds, incomplete, so 2nd and 10. But honestly, in my opinion, whoever on offense, and then of course, as always, what defense bends but doesn't break, and then special teams playing a factor as well. Got to be able to block up front, run the football, open up the pass, and beat the defense deep. Tua going to hand off there for a yard, 3rd and 9 to come. Whatever offense has more explosive plays is going to win this game today, with especially Kansas City compared to Miami being more stacked, but both offenses stacked to the core. Kansas City just has more playmakers. They're 11-1, Miami at 8-4, as mentioned. Playoff berth on the line for them, potentially as a wild card. 3rd and 9, trips near side, Parker in motion, Tua looking his way down the middle, and then pass incomplete at the 45-yard line. That was intended for number 19, Hakeem Grant. So Miami with a quick 3 and out, only picking up a yard. And now they'll punt. Good pressure there by the Chiefs. So we'll get to see Patrick Mahomes and the Chief offense. Tyreek Hill or Mecole Hardman, excuse me, call for fair catch at the 20-yard line. So 1st and 10 KC. Returning to Miami, where they, as mentioned, won last year's Super Bowl. They are your defending Super Bowl 54 champions. At 11-1, tied with the Pittsburgh Steelers record-wise. Both at 11-1. The Steelers play later on the night in Orchard Park against the Buffalo Bills, Sunday Night Football. Be sure to tune back in live here on YouTube for more live reactions, play-by-play. But 1st and 10. A couple weeks ago, the Chief offenses, for the most part, including a couple weeks ago, they have started out very, very fast. Handoff Clyde Edwards-Helaire for about 2 yards, 2nd down and 8. So we'll see if they start out fast again, as Mahomes, against those Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Tom Brady, had over 300 passing yards in the first half, Sunday after Thanksgiving. Now 2 weeks before Christmas, they won another game against the Broncos, but Denver had them right where they wanted them at. Mahomes with a 6, maybe 7-yard scamper there. They lined up out of the gun, trips top of your screen left to right for Kansas City here on offense in the opening quarter. Fake the give to Clyde Edwards-Helaire, the rookie running back at LSU, and then looked like he was going to run the option, and then faked the pitch, kept it for himself. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and short. 3rd and 2 officially for Kansas City. As mentioned, some trouble here early on with the chat, so keep those chat questions and comments coming. I'll get to them eventually, just having some technical difficulties here from the get-go off the start that was, of course, not expecting. Mahomes, another trips in a bunch top of your screen. Maybe a little bit of a false start. They let him play. And then a pump fake, no one open. Mahomes decides to tuck and run once again. And picks up 3 on 3rd and 2, so 1st down and 10 for the Chiefs. As Kansas City's, of course, now wearing their road away uniforms in their road whites with red pants. Miami, of course, wearing their throwback unis with the throwback Dolphin logo at midfield. How's the field going to play up, especially after a college football game in this same stadium just yesterday, in which we saw North Carolina beat the holy hell out of the U. But for the most part, for both opening drives here on offense for Kansas City and Miami, respectively, grounds crew seem to have, for the most part, done a good job over the past 12 to 18 hours or so since that game wrapped up. And Mahomes with the pass there, about a yard or so, second down here. Another shotgun formation from the 32-yard line. Trips near side, but Kansas City, of course, wore their home uniforms against the 49ers, in which they came back late in the fourth quarter and won the Lombardi. Screen on the wheel route, top of your screen, to Clyde Edwards-Helaire, the go-to starting running back for Kansas City. However, they did sign Le'Veon Bell almost 2 months ago now after he was released by the New York Jets, who are still winless at 0-12. But a first down pickup there for Kansas City. Edwards-Helaire now will come out. So Mahomes going to be under center, first and 10 from the 48-yard line with Le'Veon Bell, former Steeler and Jet in the backfield. Fake the give to him. Mahomes going to roll out on the play action near side. Has a man at the 35-yard line. That's 87, Travis Kelce, another Chief first down. And for the first time in a few weeks for myself, CBS back on in my neck of the woods, but not, of course, on Dish Network. Shout out to CBS with all access for the next month, maybe 2 months until Super Bowl 55. But that'll be it. Just, of course, so we can see some football, whether it be college or the NFL. But yeah, of course, Dish Network with CBS and Nexstar still butting heads, have not come to an agreement yet on a contract, as Le'Veon Bell, he signed a large contract with the Jets. Of course, that didn't work out. He was released mid-October, that Tuesday night game with Buffalo and Tennessee. 2 days later, he signed with the Chiefs, as that was actually supposed to be the day of that Chief-Bill game, but then it was moved to Monday night. They've worked him into the offense since, of course. Hand off to him there on that previous play, first and 10 run. Another hand off to Bell inside the red zone now, first and 10 to second and about 7 after a 3, maybe 4-yard run. However, there is a flag on the play. So Bell's going to come out, Clyde back in the ball game. We'll see what the penalty is. It's probably going to be a hold, 10 yards, they'll replay it down. Legal shift on the Chiefs. Okay. 5 yards, they'll replay first down. First and 15. But you look at the Chief offense. You got Patrick Mahomes, okay, at quarterback, who also this past offseason signed for a little north of $500 million, bought into the Kansas City Royals. Once again, out of the gun, trips top of your screen, Tyreek Hill, gonna fake the give to him, and then it's actually going to be intercepted off the deflection. Miami on the return, and then the Dolphins fumble the interception return, just like Penn State did yesterday against Michigan State. However, they recover the fumble, their own fumble, that is, off of the Mahomes interception. So back-to-back plays. Yeah, Hill was in motion, faked the pass to him, and then Mahomes came back near side, went to Kelce, hit him right in the hands, deflected in the air, and Miami intercepts it before they fumble it and then recover their own fumble. First and 10 Dolphins when we return. But nonetheless, back-to-back plays there for the Chiefs. We saw a penalty, only 5 yards, but that backed them up after a big first down, a few big back-to-back first down plays from Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Le'Veon Bell, whether it's running the football or catching out of the backfield in the receiving game, and then a 5-yard penalty inside the red zone, and then a play later, an interception. So we'll see if the Dolphins can capitalize by any means here now on their upcoming drive after going 3 and out, only picking up a yard, 1 total yard on a run, handoff from Tua. So, like I said, honestly, I mean, maybe even turnovers, as always, will play a factor if, of course, the other team can capitalize and put up some points. But I honestly, truly believe with just how talented these offenses are, whoever on offense for both Kansas City and Miami today makes more plays, whether that's in the run game or the pass, and then as mentioned, defense and bending but not breaking, along with potential special teams and then even out turnovers. Whatever offense makes more plays, whoever does, whether it's Kansas City or Miami, is going to win this game, I think. Obviously, Kansas City's a favorite on the road going back to Miami where they won the Super Bowl. I mean, that was then, a little over 10 months ago. This is now. So, that was that season. This is this season. 2020 has been a whirlwind year for everyone. Thank God it's almost over, but for the most part, nothing's going to change, at least for the next, 4 to 6 months into early 2021, as we think at this point in time. But coming back out of commercial break now, an interception from Mahomes. So 3 interceptions now for Mahomes on the year. But it'll set up a 1st and 10 for Miami from the 43. Handoff to Washington, who gets to midfield for a decent pickup. Yeah, I don't get why he threw that. Because he pump faked, came back near side, pump faked again, and then I don't know if it slipped by any means, but then he threw it and hit Kelsey right in the hands. Tua, complete near side, 1st down for the Dolphins. Fake the give and then fake the give on the wide receiver in motion, and then a 1st down for the Dolphins. 17 yards on the pickup. Tua going to remain in the shotgun with former Chief DeAndre Washington to his right. And now the Dolphins are going to go for a little trickery here on trick play. And it's going to be incomplete, out of bounds. That play was dead from the start. Kansas City read that well, as the former Kentucky Wildcat and one-time Raider, Lynn Bowden Jr., played quarterback in college, so they allow him to throw, but it doesn't go for any yardage by any means. Yeah, Tua handed off, and then the running back to Bowden. And then he was running around before he threw it downfield and fell completely out of bounds. Tua now 2nd and 10, going to roll out, tuck and run, picks up about 7, maybe 8 yards on that run near side. So 3rd and short now for the Miami Dolphins, who honestly, as we have an update with Tennessee and Jacksonville, flea flicker. And the Titans with an early 7-0 lead midway through the opening quarter. The Dolphins, up until now, I mean, they've made the playoffs a few times over the past 10, 15 years. But honestly, they've been a dumpster fire, but they just haven't been as bad as the Browns were, or the Jets are now, because the Jets are the new Browns. The Browns are sitting at 9-3, could potentially win the AFC North. All of these teams, with Pittsburgh, of course, also at 11-1, as Kansas City is as well. Tua on 3rd and short on a slant over the middle, incomplete, 4th down. They're in field goal range, so we'll see if they'll bring Sanders on for a mid-range field goal attempt for 3 on 4th down and 3. We'll see the actual yardage on this field goal. Officially going to be from 45 yards out from the 27-yard line. And his kick's going to be up and no good, wide right. So 2 drives for Miami. Total of 1 yard on the first. Quick 3 and out. They can't capitalize off the Kansas City Chiefs turnover with the interception. Mahomes happy about that, so it's still even. We're balanced at 0 here in the first as the Dolphins miss a 45-yard field goal. So what do you know? Was just discussing the kicking game with a friend of mine recently. As one, he's a Dolphin fan, which I don't know why he is, and this goes back to, they've been bad, but they haven't been as bad as other teams. But for 2020, they're sitting at 8-4. All these teams that I'm discussing right now, other than the Jets, of course, that I've just named off, with Pittsburgh, Buffalo hosting the Steelers later on night. Steelers traveling to upstate Western New York this morning rather than yesterday, and then getting settled in, giving the team a little extra time to prepare for tonight's Sunday night game. So be sure to tune back in later on tonight for Sunday Night Football live reactions, played live right here on YouTube with the Steelers and Bills as 2 first-place teams in the AFC North and AFC East do battle from Orchard Park, New York. But now Sanders has had a streak with field goals. 6 of 6, 7 of 7. We saw, we've seen, I should say, but you go back to that Tuesday night game with the Cowboys and Ravens this past week. We had how many missed field goals early on? Missed kicks. We've had way too many injuries this year in football and way too many missed kicks, as well as I said all season long. So that streak comes to an end. They didn't jinx them by any means this time, but because that's normally how it goes. But 45 yards out, wide right, no good on the field goals. So Chiefs can get the ball back 1st and 10 when we return. But the Dolphins are playing some very, very good football. And, they're 8-4 for a reason. New England looks to be out of it now after they lost on Thursday night against the Rams on the road. They split with the 2 LA teams. They shut out the Chargers 45-0 last Sunday, and then they got beat bad by the Rams on Thursday night. No more Tom Brady, of course. It's Cam Newton running roughshod. But and Josh McDaniels is probably for some reason going to be a candidate for some openings. I don't know why, but and a little trouble on the snap. Mahomes luckily falls on it and recovers the fumble on the bad snap from his center. It'll be 2nd and long. Chiefs are going to maintain possession here. So Kansas City lucking out. They need to settle in, calm the hell down, and just do what they've done. Honestly, yeah, Miami's good, but they're not as good as Kansas City. And this isn't, of course, as always, played on paper. This is why it's played on the field, not on paper. Motion man, empty set, 5 wide on 2nd and 19. Slant over the middle, complete to Travis Kelce, getting that yardage back to the 33-yard line. But this should, you would think at least, be an easy cakewalk for Kansas City, especially the way they played against the Buccaneers, starting fast. But last week and now even today, slow starts. Now's not the time to be playing like this. But you're in the playoffs, so you might as well play like this now. And then you get hot and you start coming back in the second half in the playoffs like you did all last season and get back to Super Bowl and potentially go back to Tampa. Mahomes is starting up front. Mahomes going to go down on the sack back inside the 5-yard line for a loss of however much yardage, from probably a 28, 30-yard loss there, I'd say. It's going to be 4th and 10,000 miles for the Chiefs here on the punt. It all starts up front with the line of scrimmage. This game's going to be one of the trenches. Kansas City, Miami getting after the Chiefs here on offense. They cannot block the Dolphin front. 4th and 42. And they almost blocked the punt, but Kansas City gets up and away. Dolphins going to start off with some damn good field position here on this third time's a charm potential drive for them after a 3-and-out and then a missed field goal. So we'll see what happens coming up next, but I mean, I tell you what, man, holy hell. Kansas City just not playing Kansas City Chief football by any means whatsoever. I mean, when you shoot yourselves in the foot as many times as they've done so far, and, you know, still, whether you're home or away, or on the road today, turning Miami where they won last year's Super Bowl, in which, you know, early on that game was just slow back and forth, from what I recall, and then it mid-second quarter and then early second half, it turned into the game it, you know, ended up being, and then the Chiefs, of course, came back and won it. But the Chief offense here, they cannot block the Dolphin front four, front seven. Credit to Brian Flores' Dolphin defense, former Patriot assistant under Bill Belichick, getting after the Chief offensive line and Patrick Mahomes at quarterback. But it starts with Andy Reid then calling the plays with Eric Bieniemy on the Chiefs side of the things. And, I mean, you're running a little too much play action here early on. I mean, establish a run game, which you sort of did, and then open up the screen game, which you sort of did, and then it led to a few big first downs, and then, of course, the interception, and then the Dolphins, of course, as well, missed a field goal. But on the Chiefs side of things here, on their own offense, they're trying to do too much, it seems like. That's what it feels like, at least. And Mahomes, that's why I said, just settle down. Whether or not this game's going to be cakewalk or not, by the looks of it, no, it's going to come down to the wire. But we're still early on in the first quarter, of course. So, 6-minute ball game, a lot of football to be played. We also got the Cardinals and Giants on. We had an update during this game as the Cardinals on the road lead the G-Men by 3-0. We had an update, I do believe it was, with the Texans and Bears, if I'm not mistaken. So a few updates with some scoring taking place here early on this 1 o'clock window, December the 13th, 2020. We're down in South Beach, Miami, Florida for Kansas City and Miami. 4:50 to play in this opening quarter. 1st and 10 for the Dolphins from the 44-yard line. Another handoff for a yard. So at least they're trying to establish a run game. I mean, Kansas City did as well, but they're getting away from what they normally do well. And they're shooting themselves in the foot, turning it over. And, you know, like I said, it starts up front. Offense, defensive line. Miami's D-line getting after Kansas City's offensive line, pressuring Mahomes. He's rolling out. Too much play action. And luckily, I mean, he had a few yards to spare there going down on the sack inside the 5-yard line. So, I mean, because just think if they had a 3rd and whatever it was before the 4th and 42 in the punt, penalties, turnovers, can't block. So the Chief defense probably gonna have to keep them in this ball game until their offense gets rolling. As Tua Tagovailoa hits the former Penn Stater Mike Gesicki for a Dolphin first down. He's emerged along with Smythe as a good two-headed tight end core for the Dolphins there on offense. Empty set 5 wide, simple tight end post, top of your screen to the 31-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Dolphins. Tua going to hand off. And to the 26-yard line goes DeAndre Washington.
Well, they've had success with that. I mean, that's really helped. I think two things is going no huddle. Helps all quarterbacks younger because
So honestly, overall, Kansas City's just lucky to be still tied at 0 here with the Dolphins because one, if they were playing a team a little bit better than Miami or on their level, which Miami is on their level, but of course a few more losses because the Dolphins aren't the Kansas City Chiefs by any means. They haven't won a Super Bowl in how long? Yeah, credit they're the only NFL team in history to finish the season perfect, undefeated with Super Bowl win back in 1972, but that was 1972. It's 2020, so that was then. This is now, of course. But looking in the past, whether it's in the history books or not, you move forward. But future's bright for Miami. Honestly, they finally got a quarterback. In Tua Tagovailoa, who honestly should have won a Heisman Trophy at Alabama, but did not. Brings up a 3rd down and 4. 2:27 after the incompletion. Ball at the 25-yard line. And another trips in a bunch. Parker in motion, and then a quick slant over the middle. It's complete to Grant. He's going to get inside the 15-yard line for a first down for the Miami offense. Wide open over the middle. Kansas City only brought 4. And then Tyrann Mathieu with a missed tackle before Grant went down at the 6-yard line, I do believe. 1st and goal. Ball officially going to be spotted at the 7-yard line. So 1st and goal. Tight end in motion out of the pistol. Two going to fake the give, roll out near side. Dump it, and Gesicki for the score. Touchdown Dolphins. And they take an early 6-0 lead. Honestly, should be 9, maybe even 10, with Miami capitalizing for the most part off of the Chief mistakes. But of course, Jason Sanders missed the 45-yard field goal, going back to the streak he had. However, there's a flag on the play here on this touchdown. It's probably going to be after the play. They'll tack it onto the kickoff. Okay, no foul on the play. Touchdown. Extra point. Keep those chat questions and comments coming. I'll get to them in a second. Having some trouble with some technical difficulties in that end, but I do have them pulled up another way here, so I'll get to them in a second. But a good start for both of these teams, okay? But Miami, other than the 3-and-out and the missed field goal, extra point up and good. Miami with a 7-0 lead over the defending Super Bowl 54 champion Kansas City Chiefs, where they won last year's Super Bowl in Miami. Dolphins lead the Chiefs 7-0 with a minute 25 to play here in the first quarter. So coming up at halftime, as always, first half stats and scores from this game, along with taking a look from around the rest of the league as well. We've had a few updates from both of these games that I'm currently watching. So both, from what I know, Dolphins, along with the Titans, 7-0 over the Chiefs and Jaguars, respectively. Had an update with the Texans and Bears, I do believe it was. Don't take my word on that. But Arizona was leading the Giants as well, 3-0. But we'll come back out of this commercial break. Chiefs going to get the football back, now trailing by 7. But good starts by both teams here, for the most part. However, the Dolphins really haven't made any mistakes other than on their third drive, third time's a charm. Went 3-and-out, missed 45-yard field goal after the streak. Going back to what I was saying with that. And Chief penalty, one play later, Chief turnover. And then it's blocking up front. It's pressure from Miami's defense. Too much play action for the Chiefs on offense. And if they can find a run game here with Clyde and Bell, it's still early. A lot of football left to be played. Chiefs are going to be fine. They just got to settle the hell down and relax, as Aaron Rodgers likes to say. Packers in action later on against the Lions. But this game's going to be back and forth for the most part, it seems like. Going to come down to the wire. Like I said, though, at the start, whoever makes more plays on offense, whether it's Kansas City or Miami, I think is going to win this game. Of course, as a Steeler fan, I would have preferred, the Dolphins probably win this game. And then Pittsburgh to win later on tonight. Pittsburgh at 12-1, Kansas City 11-2, holding on to that number 1 seed. But, as mentioned, thinking, okay, Kansas City as a favorite, that this game could potentially, be a blowout, a cakewalk for the Chiefs. Miami's 8-4 for a reason, okay? Tua's played damn well. Yeah, they benched him a few weeks back. Fitzpatrick came back in. They beat the Jets, but they're winless. So, I mean, there's nothing really there with that. But with Kansas City, for the most part, always starting out fast, now they're in a slump, as mentioned once again. But, like I said, would rather be doing this now than come playoff time. But knowing the Chiefs, with how they played last year in the playoffs, coming from behind in the second half and then winning the Super Bowl, doing the same thing in the Super Bowl in Miami, picking the 49ers to win their first Super Bowl in 50 years. Okay, I get it. It is what it is. But we saw this last week, the Chiefs at home on Sunday night against the Broncos. Started out slow, barely won that game as Drew Lock returned at quarterback. But, it's, for the most part right now, being won by Miami in the trenches. They're getting after the Chief offensive line, getting some pressure to Mahomes. 1st and 10 from the 25 after the touchback on the kickoff. Chiefs now trail by 7. Mahomes over the middle. It's caught. First down for Kansas City. Sammy Watkins with a hurdle out past midfield. Down inside the 40-yard line in Dolphin territory. And big explosive play there. We saw back-to-back wide open over the middle. Got behind the backer, hurdled the safety, and picked up a first down for the former Clemson wide receiver. Mahomes took a hit, too. But just don't do anything stupid. Because going back to their opening drive, running the ball well. Wow. Just wow. The Raiders and the Dolphins are the kryptonite for the Kansas City Chiefs right now. However, Kansas City split with the silver and black. They avenged that first loss. Beat Vegas on the road on a Sunday night a few weeks back, almost a month ago now. So maybe if Kansas City loses today, we get this rematch come playoff time maybe. You would think then Kansas City would also avenge that loss with having more experience in the playoffs over the Miami Dolphins, especially with a rookie quarterback in Tua Tagovailoa as he hands off for a few yards on 1st and 10. And Washington for 3 yards there, it looks like. As we wind down here to the end of the first quarter, I doubt Miami's going to snap it here on 2nd and 8 with about 15 seconds to play. So they'll allow the final seconds to tick off. No, they're going to 10 seconds and counting. Gesicki in motion out of the gun. 2nd and 8 from the 45. And they're going to try to draw him off sides here. Almost get him, but clock expires. So at the end of the first quarter, the Dolphins lead the Kansas City Chiefs 7-0 due to Patrick Mahomes now having a total of 4 interceptions all season long. 2 versus the Raiders, and 2 in this opening quarter on the road against the Dolphins today. However, Miami, trying to capitalize earlier, they missed a 45-yard field goal. So it comes down to Kansas City's defense trying to hold down the fort, so to speak, keep them in the game until, as mentioned, their offense gets rolling. And who knows how long that's going to be because, for the most part, in this first 15 minutes, other than their opening drive, going back to, hey, run the ball here, pretty well, screen here or there, first down, whatever the yardage is, and then a play or two later, you make a mistake, a penalty, a turnover here. It's like we're on Oprah. The Chiefs are honestly just giving anything and everything away for the holiday season to the Miami Dolphin defense right now. But can the Dolphins capitalize? That's going to be the big question because they missed the field goal, of course, going back to the 6, 7, 8 in a row streak for Jason Sanders. As mentioned, was discussing that with a friend of mine who's a Dolphin fan, which, as mentioned as well, don't know why he's a Dolphin fan by any means, but everybody has their own opinion. Everybody has their favorite team. I understand. I get it. But, going back, the Dolphins haven't been this good in almost 2 decades, honestly. And I've given him shit. I've given other Dolphin fans shit about it as well. They haven't had a quarterback since Dan Marino, honestly. I mean, they almost got Drew Brees, didn't. Signed Dante Culpepper, which at the time Nick Saban wasn't a bad choice, wasn't a bad idea. But with how Brees has, of course, turned out to be since, I mean, he was good before, but it was the injury at that point in time, 2004, 2005, 2006. But, time goes by. Time goes on. Life goes on. And Miami finally has their quarterback. So we think, at least, in Tua Tagovailoa at Alabama, as Alabama faces Florida, who lost last night after a game-winning field goal by LSU, and then Florida, of course, missing a potential game-tying field goal to force overtime down in the swamp, just north of South Beach, Miami, Florida. But next weekend in the SEC Championship game, we'll have Alabama and Florida. 1 week from today, college football playoff with the final rankings, as we'll find out the final four for the 2 college football playoff semifinals, and then, of course, the national championship on January the 11th, following those 2 semis on New Year's Day from the Rose and Sugar Bowls, respectively. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe, as always, on social media. Links in the description below. College football, NFL, and professional wrestling live reactions, play always live right here on YouTube. But as we begin this second quarter, 3rd and 1 for the Dolphins. Tua going to hand off, first down run for Washington again. Needed a yard, got 2, first down. But we just saw there on the sideline Eric Bieniemy, who's going to be a hot candidate for a few openings come coaching carousel time around the NFL, getting after Mahomes and the rest of the Chief offense, as they're still lucky to only be down 7, but if Miami capitalizes off of this interception, goes up 10, maybe even 2 scores, 2 going to fake the give and then slant over the middle. It's caught by Gesicki. He gets to the 20-yard line. However, there's a flag that's probably going to be coming back. This is going to be hold. Tua knows it. They'll replay first down. So, yeah, Miami, if they can just... Okay, an eligible man downfield. Offensive lineman, probably about a yard or so, past the line of scrimmage during the pass. An eligible man downfield for 77, Jake Long. Oh, wait, it's not 2007 anymore. But bring up a 1st and 15. They have the ball in Chief territory, so if only, it's a big if, they can capitalize. They're at home. There's fans there. Maybe take control of this game and pick up, arguably, if they would win, and depending on how they win, whether it's a blowout or close, more so if it's a blowout, potentially the upset of the year in the NFL. Regardless if Miami's 8-4 or not, but then they get to 9 wins. Buffalo, they still have to watch their ass. As mentioned over the past month or so, the AFC East is Buffalo's to lose. And if I'm a Dolphin fan, I'm rooting for the Pittsburgh Steelers tonight. So the Steelers honestly should be rooting for the Dolphins today, as should the Dolphins should be rooting for the Pittsburgh Steelers against the Buffalo Bills later on tonight. And two crucial AFC matchups this afternoon. As both are question of the day polls on social media, so be sure to vote on those. You can also let me know in the comments below. But a third down to come, 3rd and 5 after a pass complete near side. Your early second quarter. But yeah, Brian Flores, he might be the right guy. Don Shula just passed away earlier this year. So he hopefully is not now at least rolling over in his grave by any means. But the Dolphins, I mean, they've been good since they went undefeated in 72, but they haven't been as good. And this year at 8-4, this is their best ball since pre-Saban era, in which he was in Miami for 3 years before he left, and then he's been in Alabama, of course, ever since. But, you know, you got to go back to Marino's last year in the late 90s, early 2000s. So, honestly, liking what Miami's doing. I mean, it's good competition, especially with Brady not New England anymore. The Patriots at 6-7 on the outside looking in. Probably not going to make it now after that Ram loss as mentioned on Thursday night. 1st and 10 from the 17. They're going to run another trick play with Bowden. He's looking to throw. And he's going to tuck and run. He gets leveled after a 2-yard gain. Hitchens on the stop. So it'll bring up 2nd and 8. But with 11:40 to play here, Miami, for the most part, I don't get why you're running 2 trick plays, though, in this first half. Like, you're going to try to catch Kansas City's defense off guard when they're, for the most part, stopping you left and right. Because they read the first one, perfect. They gave up 2 yards on that because the other one was an incomplete pass. But 2nd and 8 from the 15. For the most part, at least they'll get a field goal out of this again, you would think, but they missed the other one. So maybe Jason Sanders can start another streak. But like I said, there's been way too many injuries, way too many missed kicks this year in the NFL. All started, of course, week 0 and week 1, both college and the National Football League. Tua faking the give and then looking to throw. It's RPO. It's RPO. Tua a little banged up there. But 2 yards, 3rd and 6. Run pass option. You look to run it. It's not there. You option to the pass. Pass isn't there. You run to the option. Option isn't there. You option it to whoever the hell is open and give them the ball. You pick the first down. Try to just move the ball downfield. Because, of course, the name of the game is winning. Whoever scores the most points is going to come out on top. Pass intended for Devontae Parker, who's, for some reason, still around in Miami, but now we know why they kept him. Give Tua a true number 1 receiver. And because Miami's made their threshold of moves over the past however long it's been, just as if they're the Pittsburgh Pirates of the NFL, just trading away talent. But pass incomplete, 4th down and 6. This field goal now going to be from 31 yards out. So Jason Sanders missed from 45. Wide right. This from 31. This should be an easy 3. Kick's going to be right down Broadway, up and good. Miami now with a 10-0 lead. Honestly, could be 13, could be 14, could even be 17-0 right now. Miami on top of the Kansas City Chiefs. So, the Chiefs with 2 turnovers. Seems like it's been forever after that long Dolphin drive on offense since the Chiefs have had the ball. But for them, just don't turn the damn ball over. Plain and simple. Get back to your strong running game, the screen pass as well that you always like to run, and just don't do anything stupid. No penalties, no turnovers. They kill you. You've dug yourself a 10-0 hole on the road. I understand if this was at home, Arrowhead, whether there's fans there or not, there would be limited capacity as there is in Miami right now. But like I said earlier, too, was curious just to see how the field is going to look, especially after yesterday's North Carolina-Miami game. But as of now, no problem. But still a lot of football to be played. So Kansas City with more explosive plays, but they've turned it over twice. Dolphins have capitalized, have a 10-0 lead, and still going to be a damn good, exciting game coming down to the wire, I think. But Kansas City's lucky to still only be down 10-0. Defenses getting Miami's more pressure on Mahomes, but Kansas City's defense keeping them in this game for the most part so far. So lucky to only be down 10-0. They'll get the ball back. Mahomes with one of his 10,000 commercials that he's in now. But just, sit back, relax, calm the hell down. To me, it seems like, and there's probably going to be a few other people saying this as well, that the Chiefs returning to Miami for the first time in a football game, at least, since they won the Super Bowl last February, acting as if this is a Super Bowl against the Dolphins. As if, the Dolphins are putting that undefeated streak on the line from, almost 50 years ago. But, we'll see what happens. Not really shocked Miami's up, early on, 10-0, but, and they're taping Tua's right ankle. So that's not a good sign, especially with his injuries he's battled over the course of his career. And that was a big question leading into the draft. Miami still took him. They didn't necessarily tank for Tua, even though they did. They didn't get the number 1 pick. Cincinnati did. They selected Joe Burrow. He's done for the season with an ACL injury. But Tua fell to him at 5. And whether Mahomes and the Chief offense right now has more explosive plays, Dolphins have not turned the ball over. And Miami leads 10-0. So 1st and 10, Kansas City from the 25-yard line. We still got Arizona and New York from MetLife and East Rutherford, the Meadowlands. It'll be as Kyler Murray, down injured, it looks like, as well, holding his right leg. The Cardinals lead 3-0 still over the Giants. Mahomes in double coverage, right on the money to Travis Kelce, former Cincinnati Bearcat. As you would think come Tuesday night, and then potentially if they win the American Athletic Conference next Saturday, with Florida's loss last night, they'll move up in the rankings. But there's a few other teams ahead of them that also have to play. So, yeah, talk of teams are getting screwed. We need to expand the playoff. I've always said for college football, the playoff, yeah, we finally got it, but in the end, there's always going to be somebody mad anyway. Kelce on the bubble screen near side. He picks up 9, maybe 10, depending on the spot here on 1st and 10. So, looks to be second and short. Just brought down shy of the first down marker. The college football playoff, they need to, now this was of course before the NFL expanded their playoff to 7 teams per conference. 7 will play 2, as 6 will play 3, 5, 4. Only the top seed will get a bye now in the NFL playoffs. Do it as the NFL used to, with move from 4 to 6, give the top 2 teams a bye, have 3 play 6 and 4 play 5, and then move on. And honestly, as Mahomes hits DeMarcus Robinson for a first down pass, we brought down 32-yard line, 1st and 10, Kansas City, 8:50 to play here in this first half. Flying by, honestly, with the 2 turnovers, as Miami's been able to get out to an early 10-0 lead here. Man the hell up, quit playing zone, unless he's probably going to pick you apart. I mean, hell, he 3 for 3 already on this drive, but a few weeks back, and for the most part, when they start fast, but you go back to that Tampa game, he threw for over 300 yards in the first half, for God's sakes. And around a Tyreek Hill, he's going to break a few tackles and dance his way into the end zone for 6, touchdown Kansas City. So they cut the lead right back to 4, pending this extra point from Harrison Butker. Pending any penalties. No, there's no flag. So, just like that, Kansas City answers, and we got ourselves a ball game. That's just ridiculous. Kansas City making it look easy. So Miami, they stay in. Yeah, he's in. Okay, that's a touchdown. The Dolphins might want to watch themselves. Okay, 10-0 lead. Just get a touchdown, of course. Still a lot of football to be played, but Miami, they just need to make sure they don't get a little too far ahead of themselves and watch it, because especially with Kansas City returning to Miami, that playoff run last year, how many times they come back in the second half? Or how many times they come back down by double digits and beat you? So, Tyreek Hill, number 10 for 7, as the Chiefs now only trail by 3, 10-7 on the road against the Miami Dolphins. So once again, thank you for tuning in and watching. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Links in the description below. That thumbs up button. Share hashtag NFL. Chat questions and comments. Super chats, super stickers. Always greatly appreciated as well. We'll get back to the action coming up shortly. First half stats and scores coming up at halftime. So, yeah, this is going to be a good game. This arguably could go down as the best game all weekend, depending on what happens the rest of the afternoon and then tomorrow night on Monday Night Football with the Ravens and Browns out of the AFC North. But as we come down to the wire with the final few weeks of this NFL regular season, playoff scenarios with the playoff picture shaping up, we know for the most part what teams are going to be in, and then what teams could very well get in, but then just come week 17 might be on the outside looking in and miss the cut. Baltimore and New England, 2 of those teams right now. Baltimore's going to have to honestly win out and need some help, as they sit at 7-5. But they beat the Cowboys this past Tuesday night. As with the 2020 season, hopefully everyone's doing well, staying safe. Come the end of the year, as we'll have a Christmas Day game with the Vikings and Saints on a Friday. This NFL year, we would have played at least one game per day of the week, Sunday through Saturday, as we've had a few Monday night doubleheaders, a few Tuesday night games. We had a Wednesday game a few weeks back with the Ravens and Steelers. We'll get a Friday on Christmas with the Vikings and Saints, as Minnesota's in Tampa today taking on Brady and the Bucks. New Orleans at Philly, as Jalen Hurts, former teammate of Tua Tagovailoa at Alabama, getting his first NFL career start today, as they have benched Carson Wentz. And maybe Wentz is going to turn into the next Ryan Fitzpatrick. Just a thought, but maybe he's also going to be the next Jamarcus Russell. Going back to that 16 draft, Wentz, of course, was, in my opinion at least, better than Goff, but Goff played better. They both got contract extensions, but the Eagles should never got rid of Big Dick Nick Foles. He led them to the Super Bowl. The play calling in Philly is awful. They can't do a damn thing right. However, they still play in the NFC East. So you would think, with how bad they are, they'd still be in contention. But no. Washington and New York are tied for first place at 5-7. So Tua, they show a replay of the injury that he just suffered. He's battled a few injuries in his career, as mentioned, with ankle, knee, hip. Just send him to a lower body doctor and see what the hell is wrong with him. And Tua, actually, that's a cool face mask for the football helmet, not a face mask that everyone's been wearing all the past 9 months. But flag comes in late from the secondary. Probably going to be a defensive hold, I bet, on Kansas City, or an illegal contact or PI of some sort. It's definitely going to be cheese. But no, that's a cool face mask for two. I don't think I've ever seen that tape. It's not, your normal quarterback face mask for the helmet, or Justin Tuck on the D line by any means that you can't even see out of. But now they're making sure they're, for the broadcast at least, checking on two every 5 seconds. Ineligible man downfield on the Dolphins. This is going to come back. And then after the play, personal foul, these fouls should offset. They'll replay the down. Okay, 15 yards going to be enforced. Automatic first down for the Miami offense. With 8:06 to play here, up 3. 10-7 are the Chiefs in this first half. Yeah, okay, I for the most part agree with that. Maybe to an extent. I mean, maybe a little bit of a flop by Parker, but even with the ineligible man downfield, had a personal foul late, and it results in a big first down for Miami. 1st and 10 from the 40-yard line now. Out of the guns, Tua. Back to his right. Motion man near side. Handoff. As the Dolphins are heading left to right. 2 yards maybe. Refs are getting in there. Hey, let's go. Don't be... I think the NFL's hopefully at least said something to all these zebras. Because the last two Steeler games, the end of the first half, as the seconds unwound, they messed it up big time. Baltimore should have got another possession going back to that. Redskins did watch football team, got a field goal, and then beat Pittsburgh, handing the Steelers a first loss. Two are going to go down on a sack back 35-yard line, being up third down and long. But no, Tua got the start almost midway through the year. Took over, of course, for the long-term vet out of Harvard, Ryan Fitzpatrick, who, for some reason, hasn't played for the Chiefs. He's played on every other team, but hasn't played for the Chiefs. But Tua with his injuries, if Kansas City can continue to get after him, 1 sack apiece now for both defenses here. Safety blitz for Matthew. Tua going to tuck and run, and then Sorensen brings them down. 2 yards on the game. 4th and 13, Miami on to punt. So I believe our first punt now for the Dolphins, if I'm not mistaken. Or no, they went 3-and-out on an opening drive. That's right. So Kansas City down 10-0. They score quick on their last drive, cut it to 3, 10-7. Force another punt for the Dolphins here, and they're right back in it because it's a 60-minute ball game. It's not won in the first 15 minutes. And okay, we got a few Chiefs running into each other on the punt return, and probably a good idea that they did, and then letting it bounce before being downed with 5:52 to play here in this first half. It'll be Chief football when we return. 1st and 10 as they trail by 3 on the road, 10-7. And in the meantime, we got the Cardinals now up 6-0 against the New York Football Giants. 3rd and goal from the 7. Kyler Murray touchdown pass. That's the tight end. 85. Big Dan Hey Arnold for 6. 12-0 with the extra point on the way. What did I say about the Giants after they beat the Seahawks last week? Potentially over the next few weeks have a hangover. They trail by 2 scores now at home against the Cardinals, who in the NFC playoffs are right on the outside looking in. The Giants need to win the NFC East along with Washington to win the division to make the playoffs. It's the only way they're going to get in. So Arizona now leads 13-0 on the road against the New York Football Giants, as Murray just lobbed it up there for him, back of the end zone right in front of the goalpost. And Arnold came down with it for 6. So extra point up and good. 13-0 Arizona at the Giants. as Miami at home leads the Chiefs 10-7. Keep those chat questions and comments coming. I'll get to them here in a second eventually. But still trying to figure out on my end for some technical difficulties here why with the connection on my end and rerunning what I have to do here. We'll go back and do what we got to do. It's always something new, technical wise, with technology. It's good, but then it also sucks when you need it to be good. But here we are. As mentioned, always life goes on, so it is what it is. But having some trouble in this regard now today compared to the normal. Hey, it's buffering. It might disconnect. Let me reconnect it. Just stay tuned, and we'll get back to it. Like the stream will continue, but it's normally always just buffering, disconnect, reconnect. Now, hell, I can't even. As we should be good to go. Maybe. We'll make sure everything has saved since, but just one thing after another, something new, odd with what it's giving me today. Wasn't expecting it, but what do they always say? You got to expect the unexpected sometimes. So, first down, about a half yard maybe on that run, stuffed the line of scrimmage. Second down for the Kansas City offense. But we'll continue to check in on this, make sure everything's all fine and dandy. But I know we're doing fine, as the Dolphins are as well, taking down Mahomes on another sack. Third and Austin 15. Yard shy of Austin third 16, but we'll say what we said. But yeah, we're doing good. I know everything's working because I have everything set. And it's just on this end that it's giving me some trouble. But thank you for tuning in and watching. Hopefully you're enjoying Miami beat the Kansas City Chiefs currently 10-7, 4.5 to play in this first half. If you are, the thumbs up button. Be sure to subscribe as well. Mahomes deflected on third and long, intended for Hill. Almost picked off for the third time here in this first half. However, it falls incomplete, and the Chiefs on to punt. So just as we think Kansas City, hey, they're right back in it. Game's finally starting to slow down for both these teams. And we'll probably end up with an average score as your final. 30-27 maybe. That's a little high scoring, but, I'd say 26-17 or something along those lines. Something that could potentially result in a scoring-omy by the end of this game. So a decent return there on the punt. Dolphins going to get it back up 3, 10-7 with 4:10 to play in this first half. As always, like, follow, and subscribe. Links in the description. Coming up at halftime, first half stats and scores with Kansas City and Miami as the Dolphins lead the Chiefs 10-7 once again. We'll also take a look around the rest of the NFL, see what still has to come later on, preview all the other games coming up at 4 o'clock. But hopefully we'll tune back in later on tonight as well, 8 p.m. Eastern Time for NFL Sunday Night Football with the Steelers and Bills. Like, follow, and subscribe. Hit that little notify bell next to the red subscribe button as well if you haven't done so already, so you can stay up to date. Easiest way to stay up to date is liking, following, and subscribing on social media. Links in the description below.
right. I've been using 4 cheese tortellini with extra tomatoes.
So it's come to that.
Thank you. Brother, careful, Hamill. Daddy's not here to save you.
Oh, I am my daddy. Wait, what?
What are you talking about?
Dear Best Buy, me and Piggy have been saving up for a long time to get my girlfriend the right laptop. Got any deals?
Every day, I get her a Chromebook. Great laptop, and it's the best.
Update with Minnesota and Tampa Bay. And Tom Brady with a 50-yard touchdown pass. The Bucs lead the Vikings by a point, 7-6 at the 2-minute warning in their first half. Giants with a third down, trailing by 13 against the Arizona Cardinals, as mentioned. A 6-6, 5-7 matchup with both teams potentially making the playoffs, but then both teams potentially not going to make the playoffs, depending on, of course, what happens. But we're back to Kansas City and Miami now. 1st and 10 for the Fins. Tua out of the gun from the 22-yard line. That'll go down as a pass to Grant on the end around, tossing it on the forward lateral. But 1st and 10 now at the 34-yard line officially. Tua going to hand off. And DeAndre Washington, the former Chief himself, gets another 3, maybe 4 yards, 2nd down. Out of the pistol. Receiver top of screen. Grant in motion. Tua with the fake. And then a little too high at midfield as it falls incomplete. 3rd down. When Miami was rolling there a little bit ago, what position were they going to a lot? And who were they going to a lot? Mike Gesicki. He's been non-existent since. Where the hell's he going? Go to Mike. Big Mike. Mike Wazowski. But credit to, Kansas City's defense. As both teams have settled down here. Pressure on Tua. Almost bring him down on a sack. And then a deep ball. It's going to be picked off by Matthew at the 20-yard line. Maybe a pass interference. I don't understand if the Dolphins want to call on that, but they're not going to get it. And then about a 10-yard return now. Some pushing and shoving, starting to get chippy. But yeah, that honestly should have been a completion from Tua to whoever he was thrown to there. We'll see a replay here. But deflected, batted up in the air, and then intercepted. So we've seen 3 interceptions now. There's a 10 for Grant, 20-yard line. And then Matthew, the former Cardinal and Texan, now Chief, comes down with the interception. And about an almost 10-yard return on the pick. So 1st and 10 for the Kansas City Chiefs with all 3 timeouts and 2:52, plus a 2-minute warning to play in this first half. As Tua goes over and sits down next to Ryan Fitzpatrick, who, of course, is like everyone else on NFL sidelines now wearing masks. But Mahomes out of the gun, 1st and 10. A little too far. 10 for Bell. Incomplete. And that'll bring up 2nd down and 10. So 2nd and 10. From the 26. Original line of scrimmage here after the interception. And then the incompletion. Complete to Kelsey. 1st down out past the 40 to the 44. 1st down. First down completion to Travis Kelce. And then after a buffer and a disconnect with technical difficulties, penalty flag coming in late from behind the line of scrimmage, and the Dolphins give Kansas City a free 15 yards on a late hit. Roughing the passer. Automatic first down for the Chiefs. 1st and 10 from the 43. Mahomes rolling around in the backfield. Going to tuck and run. No, he gets rid of the last second and 10 for Sherman, and he drops it incomplete. He would have had a first down if he would have ran that. They go to the fullback for the pass over the middle, but it falls incomplete. I mean, way to keep the play alive, though, for Kansas City here on offense for Patrick Mahomes. Just trying to do his best. That's all we all ever try to do anyway. So Kansas City trying to get back in this ball game. They trailed by 3. They'll also get the ball to begin the second half. So say they score here before halftime. Take a 4-point lead. Get the ball to begin the third quarter. Score again. You know, Miami's going to have to do something then on offense. Maybe a few more turnovers, but we'll see what happens. Mahomes there on the completion. Bring up a short yardage situation when we return out of this 2-minute warning. With 2 minutes to play in the first half, the Dolphins lead the Chiefs 10-7. Arizona still 13-0. They're also about 2 minutes to play as well. So we'll see how these games shake out, how they unfold. But these are, in fact, the 2 games that are on in my area, with CBS, Kansas City and Miami, and then on Fox with the Cardinals and Giants. We get Saints, Eagles at 4 on Fox, no CBS 4 o'clock game, because this is the game of the week for them. Kansas City, Miami at 1. And then Sunday Night Football, of course, later on tonight with Pittsburgh and Buffalo from Orchard Park, Ralph Wilson Stadium, New Era Field, in which we'll see 2 division leaders face off. Should be a good game. No snow, no weather by any means, from what I've seen. Going to be a factor by any means. So we'll see over the next few hours, though. You know, things could change. But Pittsburgh left this morning for Buffalo compared to, you know, traveling a day earlier and then getting settled in as always. But they wanted to give themselves a little bit more time to prepare for the Bills. So extra day of practice yesterday, and then left the Steel City this morning. You know, Sunday Night Football is Steelers, Bills, and then Monday night, tomorrow night, with the Ravens and Browns. Week 15, as we're in week 14 right now. Right, which is coming down here in the next few weeks. Will officially come to an end on Sunday, January 3rd. So hopefully everyone had a happy Thanksgiving, have a Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year over the next few weeks. Before we get into the NFL playoffs, the Week 15 will begin this upcoming Thursday with the Chargers and Raiders. Dolphins going to be on, from what I've heard, also in my area next week at 1 o'clock, with Pittsburgh playing next Monday night at Cincinnati, Monday before Christmas. So Patriots, Dolphins, along with a few other good games next weekend as well. There's always a few good games. There's always a few that suck, but you always want to keep an eye out for the games that are average, on paper at least, that could potentially turn out to be something. Have an update with another game there on Fox. But a 1st and 10 from the 26 for Mahomes and Kansas City, complete to Le'Veon Bell, the former Steeler and Jet, who, going back to him sitting out all season a few years back with Pittsburgh, signed that contract with the Jets, almost signed with the Dolphins. Um, did not, of course, was released by New York 2 months ago. Almost signed with the Dolphins again. Did not. 2 days later, signed with the Kansas City Chiefs as they brought a veteran running back in to help aid the rookie at LSU, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who, along with Bell, with this Kansas City running game, has gone away, has been non-existent since the opening drive. Kansas City really hasn't run a whole lot of screens since either, so maybe here as they near the red zone, down 3 here with under 2 to play, that they'll be able to punch it in and take a halftime lead and then get the ball to begin the second half. But with both these offenses, like I said earlier, honestly, stacked to the core. Kansas City more talented, of course, with more playmakers, but the Dolphins with a 3-0 or a 3-point lead here. Excuse me. Mahomes over the middle and complete to Sammy Watkins as they led 3-0 and then scored a touchdown, of course. Led 10-0 and then Kansas City answered. Knocking on the door here, 5 yards out, 1st and goal. Looking to take their first lead here in today's ball game. Maybe they'll go to Bell or Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Now we got a whistle, 1st and goal from the 6 officially. We got a timeout by the Dolphin defense. Maybe, when this game is all said and done, when we're coming down to the wire, we'll have another Miami Miracle on a week eve of New England and Miami, as that game will take place next week. We got some NFL Saturday football next week. Bills, Broncos, and then Aaron Rodgers and a host commercials as well with Patrick Mahomes. The Packers will host the Panthers. And, of course, depending on the college football schedule with Penn State and the Big Ten with Big Ten Champions Week, we'll have live reactions, public play, as always, live right here on YouTube with college football, the NFL, and professional wrestling. As next Sunday as well, WWE Tables, Ladders, and Chairs, TLC, to close out 2020. But then we also have a few other wrestling events on Wednesdays by the end of the calendar year with AEW All Elite Wrestling New Year's Bash and then WWE NXT New Year's Evil as well. So not by any means done just yet with 2020. We still got a few more weeks. As, of course, if you'd flip the numbers from 13 to 31, today would be New Year's Eve. And we'd enter 2021 tonight into tomorrow. But we still got to wait a few more weeks. Christmas is a week from Friday. Hard to believe already, but here we are. From the 6, Mahomes, touchdown to Travis Kelce. As the Chiefs now take their first lead, 13-10, pending Harrison Butker's upcoming extra point. We'll see if Miami, they got some time here. We'll see if the Dolphins can do anything before the end of this first half. They sort of ran that play a few weeks back against the Bucs, if I can recall. However, it results in an incomplete pass. I believe it was the play either right before or after the Chiefs ran that trick play with Kelce throwing the pass that fell incomplete as well. And now the extra point up and good. Chiefs 14, Dolphins 10. Here's we near the end of the first half. Miami going to get the ball back. Reason why Miami's 8-4, of course, other than their offense, is their defense. Defense is going to win you championships. They've loaded up in the back with the secondary. It all starts up front, though. Here early on, they're getting after Mahomes with some pressure. Since then, for both these teams, as mentioned, it's died down. Both teams here have relaxed, settled down, and now we're back and forth. So we'll see how this first half ends, and then, as always, first half stats and scores coming up with the half, so stay tuned. But yeah, should be a good finish here. These final 30 minutes and change with the Chiefs and Finns. This would be like a Native American chief going to a water park such as SeaWorld, or even finding the ocean and then seeing dolphins come up out of the water. Just amazed. First and 10 from the 25. I know that's probably not a good example, but I mean, it goes back to the name change with the Washington football team. You're going to change the Redskin name. Well, you need to change the Chief name, you need to change the Brave name, you need to change the Indian name. You know, but you don't see the NFL getting after the Kansas City Chiefs, especially just after they won the Super Bowl. You don't see Major League Baseball getting after the Atlanta Braves and Cleveland Indians. I'm sure there's a few other teams that, of course, I'm not recalling at this point in time, but just like the Raiders will always be the Raiders, regardless of where they're at. Another update with the Vikings and Bucks. Tampa now up 14-6 at the half. The Washington Redskins, whether they're the new Washington football team or not, they'll always be the Washington Redskins. And I think they'll win the NFC East. From the 41, and I said that on Thanksgiving after they beat the Cowboys. Not after, well, I did add on to it after they beat the Steelers last week. But they're playing some damn good football right now, as are both these teams. But a slow start from Kansas City, back in the lead. Dolphins, as mentioned, need to watch themselves. Don't get too far down the road or too far ahead and not be able to stay on top. So, what's Chan Gailey drinking there? Looks like he's got a six-pack in front of him calling these plays. One yard for a first down. That's what Miami needs here. Sanders warming up on the sideline. Ball around midfield. Tua going to go down on the sack. Back at 42. I'm not going to be shocked if Kansas City calls timeout here. No? All right. Miami going to hurry up. I mean, okay, I understand, you know, you don't want to give them another play here, but and give them more time to potentially score. But if you want to get the ball back, which doesn't even seem like Miami's in a hurry to do anything, they're just going to let the clock run out. So the first half's going to end with Kansas City sacking Tua Tagovailoa, and the Dolphins just standing there with a thumb at their ass. Hey, what are we doing? And then we're just going to let the clock roll out to close out the first half with Kansas City leading Miami 14-10 at halftime. As we're almost at halftime with Arizona and New York 13-0. Kyler Murray with a handoff, first down run. But first half stats and scores now for the Kansas City Chiefs and Miami Dolphins as the Chiefs lead the Finns 14-10. We got Patrick Mahomes on the road with 2 interceptions early that Miami, for the most part, capitalized off of. But then Tua Tagovailoa also has an interception by his name here in this box score as well. But Patrick Mahomes at the half as the Chiefs once again lead the Dolphins 14-10. Mahomes is 13 of 19 for $172, has a touchdown, 2 Travis Kelce, along with 2 interceptions. He's been sacked twice. Kelce has 6 catches for 76 yards and a touchdown. Tyreek Hill on that end around reverse for a rushing touchdown has 1 carry for 32 yards and a score. Le'Veon Bell 2 carries for 21 yards. Patrick Mahomes, 3 carries, 9 yards. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, 2 for 2. Kelsey, as mentioned, 6 for 76 on the score. Sammy Watkins has 2 catches for 52 yards. Clyde, 2 of 17 out of the backfield, as Bell also has 2 catches for 14 yards. And Marcus Robinson, 1 of 13, and then a few targets to some other players there. But Mahomes, 13 of 19 for 172 yards passing, a touchdown, 2 interceptions here in this first half. But Kansas City has come back and take halftime lead. Tua Tagovailoa from Miami, he's 11 of 19 for a $125, a touchdown, and an interception. Also has been sacked twice. So both defenses with 2 sacks apiece. It's pretty even. It's just a 4-point lead for Kansas City at 14-10. Washington has 9 carries for 22 yards. Grant, 3 of 32. Bowden, 2 of 30. Mike Gesicki has the lone Dolphin touchdown. So both tight ends playing well here today. Kelsey and Gesicki with a score apiece. Big Mike, 2 catches, 21 yards, and a touchdown. Matt Collins, 2 of 19. Stone cold stunning everybody. Adam Shaheen, 1 of 16. And then Washington also has a catch for 7 yards out of the backfield as well. 14-10 Chiefs over the Dolphins at the half. Kansas City will receive it again in the second half. Also, currently right now, the Chicago Bears are beating the living hell out of the Houston Texans 23-7 as they near halftime, which is a bit of a surprise. Mitch Trubisky, who the Bears drafted over both Mahomes and Deshaun Watson, is beating Houston and Deshaun Watson 23-7. No way. Auburn just fired Gus Malzahn. That is a shock. They must have their eye on somebody. Auburn just won last night. Yeah, they've been a little slow this year, but Gus Malzahn, he should have left when he had the chance to go to Arkansas. He's going to be looking for a new job. He'll end up as a coordinator somewhere next year, you would think. I'd say potentially go back to Arkansas State, but they just hired Butch Jones. Arizona just fired Kevin Sumlin the other day after they got blown out on Friday night against Arizona State 70-7. But the college football and NFL coaching carousel starting to pick up now. Illinois just parted ways with Lovie Smith earlier today. South Carolina hired Frank Beamer's son. We'll see how that works out, but that's a shock. Auburn fires Gus Malzahn. He led them to a national championship, and they should have beat Florida State and Jimbo Fisher, but of course did not. $21 million buyout after 8 years. Gus Malzahn no longer the head football coach at Auburn. Auburn plays Penn State for the next 2 years as well. So who's going to take over at Auburn? They must have their eye on somebody. That is a shocker. I mean, honestly, anyone watching currently right now, let me know who you think Auburn could have their eye on to potentially go out and hire and bring them in to take over the Tigers. But as long as Nick Saban's in Tuscaloosa with Alabama, it's Roll Tide in the state of Alabama. Now, Auburn, yeah, they've beaten Alabama a few times in the Iron Bowl, but that's just a shock. Gus Malzahn fired. I don't even know what to think. Or I don't even know who they could hire by any means. That's just... that's interesting. I didn't see that one coming. But we'll see what else we got going here notification-wise before we move on with this first half. Nothing really. I mean, okay, Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame, AP poll for college football release, but that doesn't matter anymore right now because of the college football playoff. Once those rankings come out, Auburn fires Gus Malzahn. He was 68 and 35 overall record wise, 39-27 in the SEC over 8 seasons. And then potential candidates for Illinois will check into this. Illinois, next week, Big Ten Champions Week, still waiting on an update from the conference on who everyone's going to be playing. But, man, that's a surprise. That is a big surprise. With Auburn firing Gus Malzahn. I'm not shocked by Lovie Smith by any means. Yeah, maybe. Okay. Maybe, yeah. There's a few good options there potentially for the Fighting Illini, along with Auburn War Eagle Tigers. We'll check in more with the college football and NFL coaching carousel at some point down the road. So just be sure to hit that red subscribe button as always. Easiest way to stay up to date right here on YouTube. But like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Links in the description below. I'll have videos right here on the channel with my thoughts and opinions on college football and NFL coaching carousels, with college football bowl game and NFL playoff predictions right here on YouTube. But, man, I don't even know what to think. That's a shock. I wasn't expecting that. I don't think anyone is expecting that, honestly. But at the same time, maybe he wanted out. You know, he's been, over the past few years, potentially thinking about leaving at least. And then, of course, the school giving him a contract to remain on, and then the buyout was 21 because they extended him a few times over the past few years. So they pay him the money that they owe him and cut the cord, cut ties with him, and Auburn going to be moving on. So they must have their eye on somebody if they just fired Gus Malzahn. That's like, you know, because Auburn in the SEC is like the equivalent of, say, it's a tough one. I mean, as of late at least, we'll say, like, not just with the way teams have played by any means, but you go like conference by conference. Say in the ACC, Auburn in the SEC is like, as we see some highlights during this halftime, Auburn's like, man, it's tough. I'm just trying to think about the Big Ten and, you know, like the Big 12 and Pac-12 too. I mean, for the, well, maybe. I'll have to look more into that, think about it a little bit here over the course of the next few minutes or so. Yeah, Auburn, I'd say in the Auburn in the SEC is comparable to, I mean, Virginia Tech maybe out of the ACC, maybe even North Carolina, and then I'd say probably Michigan or Nebraska out of the Big Ten. Like, that would be like, you know, Michigan moving on from Jim Harbaugh, which they still could, you know, if he doesn't leave, they could fire him. Scott Frost and Lincoln as well. after they finished the season with 2 wins. Um, no, yeah, I know where or what teams are affiliated with each conference, of course. So yeah, Auburn out of the SEC just fired Gus Malzahn for just now tuning in, which is a bit of shock in my opinion, at least. Yeah, Auburn's comparable, we'll say, to Virginia Tech out of the ACC. Big Ten. I mean, even Penn State, honestly, too. To be honest with you, because it's Alabama in the SEC, it's Ohio State in the Big Ten, and then it's everyone else playing second fiddle. Especially in-state with the in-state rivalry with Alabama and Auburn for the Iron Bowl. It's like the game with Michigan and Ohio State, something along those lines. Big 12, I mean, Texas isn't Texas anymore, but Oklahoma State probably, that's Auburn. We'll see where Malzahn ends up. He'll end up as a coordinator somewhere. Maybe Penn State for as an assistant. If in fact they move on from Kirk Soraka at the offensive coordinator position, which I don't think they would after 1 year. But they started out on 5, but they won 3 straight, so that has to speak for something. And then, I mean, maybe he ends up as a head coach somewhere. Lower than the SEC, or maybe back. We'll see where he ends up as we begin the second half with Kansas City and Miami. Chiefs with a 14-10 lead at the half. Already beginning this third quarter, 1st and 10. So, yeah, I know I went on there about that, but, I mean, that's shocking. Was not expecting that by any means, but what I say earlier. What do they always say? You got to expect the unexpected sometimes. So, yeah, we'll see what the future holds for him, along with everyone, of course. But 1st and 10 for Kansas City from the 25-yard line after the touchback on the kickoff as we begin the second half. 14-10, Chiefs leading the Dolphins. Mahomes complete to Clyde for. But coming up shortly, as always, we'll continue on with the first half stats and scores from this game. Of course, we already went over first half stats with Kansas City, Miami, but we'll take a look around the rest of the NFL with what's currently going on. We'll come back as they'll return from this commercial break shortly, but we'll move on with all that momentarily. So stay tuned, and we'll also later on, not during this stream, but later on tonight, also recap all the games from today, as always. But then take a look at the standing as well with the AFC and NFC playoff picture, as there are a few playoff scenarios for these teams if they would win today to make the playoffs, to officially get in. As both the Saints and Chiefs clinched playoff spots last week, but the Chiefs with a win today, they clinched the AFC West. And then the only way the Raiders would get in would be as a wild card. So we'll see what the future holds, of course, but no, they said that was going to be a short, quick commercial break, but obviously not. We're still, at normal length for a commercial. No split screen, picture-in-picture by any means, but no. We'll get back to the action shortly, and we'll continue on once they return with the game, and then take a look around the rest of the NFL with what's currently happening during this week 14. So thank you once again for tuning in and watching. Sorry for any technical difficulties by any means with some buffering, disconnect, and reconnect more so than not now here and the second half. Always something, as always, but we move on. So we're back. Kansas City 14-10. Big first down pickup there. Play go. Complete to Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He dances way up the far sideline. 1st and 10 from 49-yard line officially. Going to hand off to Clyde for 5 to the 44. 2nd down and 5. Cardinals Giants coming out of the first half as well. Arizona with a lead on the road, so they're about to begin their second half coming up shortly as well. But the games of the week, about especially today at least, it's Kansas City, Miami, and then Pittsburgh, Buffalo later on tonight. So hopefully we'll tune back in later on for Steelers, Bills. Live reactions, play-by-play. Mahomes, deep ball right down the middle. Touchdown, Kansas City. Tyreek Hill for 6 once again. Trips, slips and slides with the celebration. Didn't mean to, but a 44-yard strike as now Mahomes is nearing 300 yards passing in this game with 2 passing touchdowns. 1 to Kelsey, 1 to Hill. Chiefs are out of their little hole they dug themselves, and they're going to extend their lead here on their opening drive this third quarter. Only a few minutes in. Kansas City now leading the Dolphins 21-10. 21 unanswered for the Chiefs on the road against the Fins. Just, yeah, he slipped on some water, or, of course, slipped on a Kelsey celebrating. Slipped on a slippery surface. Say that 3 times fast. After the touchdown. Good thing he didn't injure himself, or else Kansas City would be out. One of their better playmakers on offense, other than Mahomes and Kelsey and Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Le'Veon Bell and Sammy Watkins and Demarcus Robinson and Mecole Hardman and everyone on the offensive line and everyone on defense, everyone in the organization overall as a whole, everyone. But no, that was a little bit of a scary moment for them. He got up. He's fine. He'll be all right. He just slipped and fell after he caught a touchdown from Patrick Mahomes once again here today. And 44-yard strike just beat the safety deep down the middle, and Mahomes put it over the top, and Hill right in his breadbasket came down with a touchdown. And the Chiefs with an 11-point lead now, 21-10 with 21 unanswered, leading the Miami Dolphins. However, Miami 1st and 10 from 25-yard line now. Out of the pistol, Tua Tagovailoa going to hand off for 5 yards to the 30. Tua on 2nd down, batted down, incomplete. Another update with the Vikings and Bucks. Tampa now leading Minnesota 23-6. So they've scored 23 unanswered. Tua Tagovailoa, all I do is win. Well, no matter what has happened already. The score is 21-10. So we'll see what Tua is capable of here to potentially lead Miami from behind now to come back and win this game. 3rd down and 5 from the 30. And it's incomplete over the middle. 4th down. And Miami going to punt. From the 32 on the return, Mecole Hardman has got a convoy down the far sideline. He's going to return this to the house for a touchdown. Kansas City now 27-10 over the Miami Dolphins. No penalty flag. Thought there might have been a little bit of a hold or a block on the back on that right at the start, but Mecole Hardman with a 65-plus yard punt return for a touchdown. And he did not step out. He's in the end zone for a touchdown. Kansas City now running away with this, as previously thought, you know. Cakewalk, blowing them out. Miami going to need at least 3 touchdowns to come back and win this game. But they also got to hold Kansas City on defense, which the way the Chiefs are playing on offense, they're extra point up and no good. Now that is good, they say. I thought that was no good. All right, 28-10. It's going to be a long second half for the Dolphins, it looks like. So, yeah. Special teams, a factor now. Hardly any running game, but more explosive plays. At turnovers, teams capitalized, yes, but special teams with a punt return, Kansas City, with 2 quick touchdowns here in the first few minutes of the second half, now leading the Miami Dolphins 28-10 on the road. Also, currently right now in the NFL, a few games also at the half, along with early third quarter. We got as I gotta let it load. Come on, what the hell? You're never this slow. Alright, so just when it's working all fine and dandy, now it's not. Now I can't even pull this up. Come on. Come on, there we go. Hurry up. I have all day. No, we'll get, once the load for me, some first half stats and scores for NFL Week 14 today. And this isn't with connection. This is just flat out straight data, whatever you want to, or however you want to say it. This is ridiculous. Come on. There's no reason for this whatsoever. None. That's the thing with technology. It's good, but then it also sucks. Come on, man. I can't even click on something, for God's sakes. So we'll get those hopefully shortly. But yeah, stay tuned. We'll get to them eventually. Yeah, that was the hold that I had thought maybe was going to call that back. But there's no penalty flag on the punt return, and the Chiefs now 28-10. Arizona 20-0 against the Giants, with Colt McCoy starting to warm up on the sideline at quarterback. Daniel Jones, Colt McCoy, Kyler Murray as your quarterbacks today. Tua thrown it into the ground, incomplete, second down. 2nd and 10. They've gotten away from just keeping it simple. You know, Tua incomplete. Gonna bring up a 3rd down and 10. Well, at least he went to Mike Gesicki on that play. But Miami just trying to do too much with their lead, and now they've let that evaporate. Okay, Washington on the slant. Should be enough for 1st down. If not, it'll be 4th and inches. First and 10 from the 45 out of the pistol. Handoff. Still trying to establish his run game. Because when this, for the most part, game comes down to it, Miami's just going to get outplayed with all the talent Kansas City has. And I mean, I get there's still how much football has to be played here in the second half, but you're down 18. So until you show me that you can move the ball and score and get back in this, it's going to be a long afternoon. 2nd and 8. Pass over the middle, incomplete. 3rd down. And this would be another Chief game where their opponent had them right where they wanted them at, and they let them off the hook. So Matthew on the coverage, and the tight end should have caught that right through his hands, incomplete. So now 3rd down. Trips in a bunch near side. And then a motion man out wide. They ran the same formation to the other side in the first half. Tua this time is going to tuck and run. He gets a few yards, but it's going to bring up 4th down, and Miami's going to have to punt again. So credit to and shout out to Kansas City defense getting after the rookie quarterback. And this is after, of course, they found themselves, settled the hell down, and have scored 28 unanswered to take a 28-10 lead. From midfield, Dolphins on to punt. Almost blocked. Maybe another punt return? No. Fair catch signal forward, and then it's going to bounce to the 5 into the end zone for a touchback. It'll be 1st and 10 Dolphins. 1st and 10 Chiefs, excuse me, after that Dolphin punt. Kansas City getting the ball back, up 18, 28 to 10. Now, in the meantime, as this game will probably be going on for another hour or so, I'm thinking maybe a little bit more. Who knows? Maybe we'll have some bonus coverage on CBS and Fox today. But in the meantime, we're going to try to pull up some stats and scores in which we had them loaded. We had them loaded, and then they completely just disappeared right off the face of the earth, and now they won't load, but now they will. So here we are for the most part now all games in the third quarter. Yes, all games kicked off at 1 o'clock now in the third. Um, even here shortly, early fourth quarter, as Chicago at home leads Houston 33-7. That, other than Miami leading Kansas City there 10-0 at a point in time, in Galaxy far, far away. Chicago beating Houston with both teams down this year. Yes, I get that. I totally understand that. That for these 1 o'clock games has to be the biggest surprise. Bears 33, Texans 7. The Cowboys, Andy Dalton returning home to Cincinnati. Well, at least a place he called home for almost a decade with the Bengals. As he's, of course, a native Texan, played at TCU, was cut by Cincy. They drafted Joe Burrow #1 overall this past year in the draft. He returned to Texas, to Lone Star State, took over Dak Prescott in mid-October following his season-ending injury, and is now the starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas, not going to be making the playoffs by any means this year, as aren't the Texans, Bears, or Bengals either with these 2 games, total 4 teams that I've just named off. But Dallas on the road in the AFC North for the second straight week, on a short week after a Tuesday game last week that was rescheduled from the Thursday before. The Dallas Cowboys lead the Cincinnati Bengals 20-7 as they near the end of the third quarter. Chiefs Dolphins here 28-10. Coming up post-game final, we'll have final stats and scores, so stick around, stay tuned. The Bucks, as mentioned, lead the Vikings 23-6. Broncos at Carolina. Denver leading the Panthers 19-10. The Titans are absolutely blowing out the Jacksonville Jaguars 31-3. And then as well with Kansas City and Miami here, 28-10 Chiefs over the Dolphins. We also have the Cardinals leading the Giants now 20-6 after the touchdown, pending the Giant extra point to make it 20-7. So they're midway through the third quarter, as we are here as well. But still to come. Colts Raiders, along with the winless 0-12 Jets, visiting Seattle. Jamal Adams ball game. Packers and Motown taking on the Lions. We also have the Saints and Eagles, along with the Falcons and Chargers. And then a good one in the desert for the San Francisco 49ers, once again, playing in Arizona. They host the Washington football team, as both Washington and Buffalo now have visited Glendale State Farm Stadium in the Phoenix area twice this season for 2 different games versus 2 different opponents out of the NFC West. So, Jets, Seahawks, Colts, Raiders, Saints, Eagles, Packers, Lions, Falcons, Chargers, along with Washington and San Fran. Still to come. Monday Night Football tomorrow night, Ravens and Browns. We saw Patriots, Rams this past Thursday night with LA winning 24-3. However, still to come later on tonight, Sunday Night Football, Pittsburgh and Buffalo, the Steelers and the Bills. Hopefully we'll tune back in live right here on YouTube for more live reactions, play-by-play. Then, currently, Kansas City with the ball, 3 yards for a first down. They lead 28-10. From the 27, 3rd and 3, they need a 3rd. Out of the gun. Kelsey in motion. Mahomes looking to throw. Gonna step up. And it's going to be caught by Travis Kelsey. Out past midfield, down at the 44-yard line, 1st and 10 Chiefs. But that is currently, right now, NFL Week 14. So thank you for tuning in and watching. Mahomes making it look easy here after those early turnovers. First and 10 from the 45. Gonna hand off. Clyde Edwards-Helaire's got a blocker. He's only going to get 3 yards though. Second down. Dolphin player helmet comes off. He's going to come out for play. Maybe, maybe not. It's not college football, it's the NFL. But second down and 7. Caught by Hardman. Kelsey with a block. First down. Chiefs inside the 30, 25, 20, down to 15. And then the ball comes out on a fumble. But was he out of bounds before the ball came out? Kansas City with another turnover. I think he might have stepped out. If not, though, we'll see on this replay. It's going to be... No, that's a fumble. He's in bounds. They punch it out. First and 10, Dolphins from inside the 10-yard line, but they got the length of the field to go. As Kansas City would have had a first and goal there. Had another big conversion. Another explosive play. Not going their way in favor of Miami with another turnover. So first and 10, Fins. Turnovers, turnovers, turnovers. Penalties and turnovers absolutely kill you. I don't think we've seen a penalty yet, though, in this second half, but the third Chief turnover in this ballgame. First and 10, Miami. From the 7. Tua gonna hand it off on the end around, but nowhere to go. Second and long. So now we got an injured Dolphin on the offensive line. So Tua going to be losing his Michael Orr, his blind side, at the tackle position. For now, at least, it looks like. But way too many injuries this year in the NFL. It's one of those years. It's 2020, so why not?
He's up now. Walking softly to the sideline. Softly as you can at 320 plus. Davenport to come in now.
So second and 12 now from the 6. Out of the pistol. Tua going to fake the give. He's going to go down on the sack in the end zone. That's a safety for the Chief defense. 30-10 now, with the Chiefs getting the football back. The story of this game, yes, turnovers early on at least. Miami with a 10-0 lead. But then Kansas City's defense keeping them in this game until the offense got rolling. And now they've scored 30 unanswered. 30-10 Chiefs on the road against the Dolphins. $30-10. And what has turned into a blowout. So Dolphin fans, if I'm you, well, I'm probably turning on another game or going to turn off the game and do nothing at all. Better luck next week against the Patriots. In which, honestly, that's going to be a game. That's going to come down to the wire. New England wins that, they'll be even again at 7-7. They already play this week on Thursday night, so they're going to have a little extra time off following their long road trip to the West Coast. But Miami 8-4. They lose this, and then potentially lose that next week. They're 8-6. That opens the door for New England, Baltimore, the Raiders. So Miami good, but they're going to need some help now, it looks like, potentially, for the playoffs, even as a wild card, as it sits. Like I said earlier, Dolphin fans should be Steeler fans tonight. As Steeler fans should be Dolphin fans right now, but the Chiefs are, of course, up 20 now. So, the AFC East is still Buffalo's to lose. I think they'll win the division. Miami going to get a wild card. If not, it could be New England. It could be Baltimore. It could be 3 out of the East, 3 out of the North. Not both. It's one or the other because there's not enough spots. Normally it's 6. This year it's 7. And they changed this before COVID. This was all pre-COVID awarded to the NFL. They agreed on it, and the playoffs are a total of 14 teams now, rather than the usual 12, 7 per conference, 7 in the AFC, 7 in the NFC. Only the top team, whoever the 1 seed is, they will be the only teams getting a first-round bye, compared to the usual top 2. So 2 will play 7, 3 will play 6, 4 will play 5, 1 will get a bye. So on and so forth. We'll get extra football on the road to the Super Bowl. But the Chiefs with a safety, 30-10. Now the Chiefs, they win this, win this, they're going to be Bill fans tonight. Because then the Steelers would lose 2 straight, be at 11-2, Kansas City at 12-1. Kansas City's in top spot. They're getting first round bye. Pittsburgh did not. So we'll see how everything, of course, as always, unfolds. It all shakes out. But there's still a lot of football left to be played. That's the good thing about it, but that's also the bad thing about it. So it is what it is. We'll see how all these games play out. But Chiefs with the football back following the safety. So the free punt, 1st and 10, Chiefs from the 46-yard line. Try not to turn the ball over. So even if they did turn the ball over just then, on their last drive for the 3rd time today on the fumble, they sacked Tua in the end zone for a sack, and now here we are, 1st and 10, Kansas City from the 46. Out of the gun, 3 wide. Kelsey down on the line of scrimmage, lined up as tight end. Handoff, no gain on the play, 2nd down. Now Kansas City, yes, with the lead. You run the football. You run this clock out. So actually lost a yard on that. 2nd and 11 now from the 45. Bubble screen complete to Hardman. The same play they ran in which he fumbled on after picking up the 1st down. He gets to the 50 at midfield for pickup of 5. So 3rd down and 6 for the Kansas City Chief offense. As for the few games that I've, from start to finish at least, called live reactions play of for the Chiefs this season, 3 of them have been all Chief road games. They went to Buffalo on a Monday night, 5 o'clock, rescheduled from Thursday before, of course, mid-October. Went to Tampa a few weeks ago. Now they're in Miami. Incomplete on the deep ball to Tyreek Hill. It's incomplete. 4th down. I'm trying to recall if I did any others. I mean, of course, yes, on a few Sunday nights during WWE pay-per-views, they were on, including last week for WWE NXT TakeOver, and also during another WWE pay-per-view within the past month with Survivor Series. They played at the Raiders, and then they hosted the Broncos last week. So, 3rd from start to finish, no doubt about it. That's a fact. I'm just trying to remember if there were any other games from the start of the season. I mean, okay, at home, week 1 against the Texans, in which they beat Houston. 4th down after the penalty. Kansas City going to punt. But this is my first Dolphin game of the season. From where I'm at, there's not a whole lot of Dolphin games on. It's Steeler and Eagle country, along with depending on if those teams are playing in another time slot in prime time potentially. We would get the other regional action from other teams around. So whether that's Cleveland, Buffalo, the New York teams, New England, Baltimore, Washington, even Cincinnati, Detroit, Green Bay, down to Carolina. So don't really get a whole lot of Dolphin games, but potentially could get 4 by the end of the season over the next 4 weeks. With today, of course, next week the Patriots. They play on a Saturday, the day after Christmas, at the Raiders, and then a potential Sunlight Flex at Buffalo to close out 256. So before the playoffs begin. So and Miami could be in the playoffs by that point. They might play themselves out if they continue to lose and other teams win. But for now, you take it, one play, one thing at a time, and you try to come back. And 2nd and 3 pass incomplete over the middle, 3rd down and 3 for the Dolphins. Got an injured Chief defender. As we near the end of both 3rd quarters in both these games, with Kansas City and Miami. KC leading by 20, 30-10, and then the Cardinals leading the Giants 20-7 under a minute to play in the 3rd quarter. 3rd and 3 from the 25. 2 out of the gun, looking to throw, going to step up. Complete, 31-yard line, 1st down Fins. As they get to around 35-yard line for 1st down. And that was former Kentucky Wildcat, the Swiss Army knife, if you will, of the Miami offense, and Lynn Bowden. 1st and 10 officially from the 36-yard line. Another fake on the give to a pass over the middle, complete, 1st down Dolphins for a pickup of 12 yards. And guess who? Lynn Bowden, once again, on the reception, 1st down Miami. Tua going to hand off. 2 yards, maybe if that, to midfield. 2nd down, they're going to spot at the 48.5-yard line. Yeah, the thing is with Miami 8-4, they're saying, to be relevant and all that. You have a good season this year. How do you build off of it to next year? Because I just have a feeling they're going to suck again next year. we'll be back to square one where we started, with the Miami Dolphins being a dumpster fire in the NFL. Not as bad, though, as what the Browns were, or as mentioned earlier, with how the Jets are right now. I get every team, every dog has its day. You win some, you lose some, but the potential Miami is to the sky and then some. So third down, Tua going to go down another sack, so now they can't even block him. Credit to Kansas City's defense now. Like I said, keeping themselves in the ball game until the offense clicks. 30 unanswered, even a safety as well. And the Chief defense, not by any means whatsoever, letting up, taking down Tua Tagovailoa on another sack to force another Miami Dolphin punt. And this will bounce out of bounds around the 4-yard line. See where I spotted. Be 1st and 10, Chiefs from the 8-yard line. 30-10, Kansas City. Yeah, they take a look at the divisions. AFC East, Buffalo, Miami, New England, and then the Jets are just there for some unknown reason. They just are at 0-12. Yeah, Buffalo's at 9-3, Miami 8-4, New England 6-7, and then the Jets are 0-12, and they keep it up. They're going to have number 1 overall pick next year. And good luck to Trevor Lawrence, because as far as we know, he's going to be the number 1 overall pick. Pump fake from Mahomes, sidearm, 22, incomplete, and 10 for Tyreek Hill. 2nd down and 10. Fumble. Cardinals recover. No, the Giants say they have it. We'll see who comes up with it. That's that game. Arizona leading 27. This game. Kansas City 2nd and 10 after the completion of 20 again. 30-10 if just not tuning in. From the 8-yard line. Miami bringing a whole lot of pressure, but Clyde Edwards-Helaire on the halfback draw, and they're going to keep pushing until he picks up a 1st down. Markham just shy, half-yard shy, 3rd and inches to come. Now for pick up a 9.5. Miami brought about half their defense on that. And then just keep pushing. Push, 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 push. 3rd and 1. Trips in a bunch. Mahomes looking to throw, going deep down the near sideline, has a man in Kelsey at midfield. What a catch. Travis Kelsey, the best tight end in the NFL. 1st down for the Chiefs. He's over 100 yards receiving. Has a touchdown. And on 3rd and inches, they go deep. It's one thing I don't understand with some play calling nowadays. But hey, if it works out, it works out. But if not, you're getting executed basically for calling what you called and not converting. So from the 49, 1st and 10, Kansas City almost caught Miami with too many men on defense. Handoff from Mahomes. And 2 yards for Clyde Edwards-Helaire. 2nd down. Mahomes caught, no, and then dropped by Kelsey. sunshine playing a factor now with and just on the numbers there in some parts not being able to see, but incomplete. It'll be 3rd down and 8. Mahomes caught 1st down. That's Hill 37. 1st down, Kansas City. So the Chiefs are just now continuing to move the ball, making this look as easy as ever. But at the end of the 3rd quarter, as we'll have 15 more minutes to play, the Kansas City Chiefs lead the Miami Dolphins 30-10. Kansas City 1st and 10 when we return. Continue to move the ball, move the sticks left and right, just further on downfield, knocking on the door, looking to extend their lead a little bit more here before we wrap everything up and end this game, of course. But it looks like Kansas City's going to come out with a win after trailing by 10 early. But hopefully we'll tune back in later on tonight for more live reactions, play-by-play, Steelers, Bills, NFL Sunday Night Football.
I did some early shopping this year. One for you, one for me.
I love it. I gotta throw something too.
Yeah.
Yep. One for you, one for me.
I love it.
Oh, actually, that was supposed to be for
I love it.
I like that.
It's the GMC season to upgrade. Now everyone can get GM employee pricing on most GMC models. Or current eligible non-GM owners can get this low mileage lease on this 2021 Terrain SLE for around $159 per month.
Thanks, Joe.
What a great gift! Pennsylvania lottery tickets make great gifts, like the new Tremendous Winnings. Happy holidays!
It's tough to appreciate the winter wonderland when you're stuck on the side of the road with a dead battery. Lucky for you, AAA memberships are now on sale. AAA roadside assistance covers you 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, even when the weather is frightful. And this holiday season, you can save 25% on new AAA memberships. Already a member? AAA memberships make great gifts too. So give and enjoy real peace of mind this holiday season.
WTHN, your Black and Gold Nation station. We begin the 4th with Kansas City on the move again.
Chiefs 1st and 10 as we begin the 4th quarter. A win today would clinch the AFC West for them. And then a Steeler loss later on tonight would give them the number 1 overall seed as well in the AFC playoffs at this point in time. However, if Pittsburgh wins, Pittsburgh will stay in the top spot at 12-1, as both teams will be 12-1. But Pittsburgh's loss was to an NFC team. That's why they're still, as once originally thought, they dropped. They did not. The Steelers are still the 1 seed currently in the AFC playoffs, but they play a tough Buffalo Bills squad later on tonight on the road on Sunday Night Football. Toss on the run. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, 1st down. Chiefs. From the 24, trip, stop your screen. Right to left for Kansas City here on offense. Clyde in motion out of the backfield. Mahomes going deep, and it's going to be one-handed intercepted. Nice pick right there in the end zone. And Mahomes for the 3rd time here this afternoon with another interception. 4th turnover on offense for the Chiefs today. However, they still lead by 20, 30-10. So Miami just, whether they're getting turnovers or not in their wheelhouse by any means. Because the Chief defense has been able to stop them after trailing by 10. play. Nice catch on the interception. It'll be 1st and 10 Dolphins now from the 20 with the touchback on the interception in the end zone. So 1st and 10. You know, just think if, okay, Kansas City's turned it over 4 times, but Miami has been able to capitalize off of those and keep this game close. And we're back and forth, tied up right now potentially. Probably a little bit low scoring than what it is, but incomplete there from Tua on 1st and 10. Brings up 2nd and 10. As long as they can work out the kinks, you know, by the end of the season, and then do what they've done in the playoffs, they'll be fine. Pass complete to Mike Gesicki for a 1st down. 1st down for the Fins. Ball 33, 1st and 10. Mike, a few catches and a touchdown today. Empty set, 5 wide though now. Slant over the middle, caught for about 5 yards or so maybe. 2nd down for the Dolphins. From the 38, Tua going to roll out. The lefty quarterback, pass complete the 40-yard line. And another 1st down for the Dolphin offense here. If only they can execute and convert it into points. Because they have not scored since they were up 10-0. Seems like forever ago. Well, because it was in the 1st quarter. We're now here in the 4th. Another empty set, 5 wide. Tua on the tight end screen. Complete. Looks to be enough for another Dolphin 1st down. It's there. It's just the Chief defense is better than their offense at times. And once the Chief offense got rolling and the Chief defense was stopping Miami's offense, you know, there's no looking back because the Chiefs are scoring points and Miami's not. It's not golf, it's football. Whoever has the highest score wins. Whoever scores the most points comes out on top. And it's caught in the end zone. Mike Gesicki, another touchdown reception for him today. Touchdown Dolphins. Should have been picked off at the goal line. And then it bounced, and he came down with it in the end zone for another 6. So they cut it to 2 scores. They'll go for the extra point here and make it a 13-point game. At 30-17 as it's 30-16 right now. But into triple coverage. Tua just lofting it up there for Mike Gesicki, and he comes down with it for another touchdown. He's honestly, other than Devontae Parker, in the receiving group here with the receivers and tight ends, the best playmaker they have on offense. And if Tua can get him the ball 9 times out of 10, he's going to come down with it. Now, when he first started playing football, college football this is, he couldn't catch a damn pass to save his life. Believe me, I've witnessed it. But he got out of his little slump, and he's turned into one of the better tight ends in the NFL. And once again, the Dolphins capitalize off of a Chief turnover. Just think if the Chiefs don't even turn it over then. Miami's probably getting shut out right now. Maybe 3 points. If that. But then the Chiefs are, blowing them out here. But no, they're not. It's 30-17 now in this fourth quarter. So we'll get back to the action shortly with, of course, Kansas City still leading by 13, though, as the Dolphins cut it from 20 to 13 after that touchdown from Tua Tagovailoa to Mike Gesicki for the second time this afternoon. 30 to 17 Chiefs over the Dolphins.
This year, we learned a lot about baking. Walmart makes it easy with groceries, gadgets, and so much icing. Let's end the year deliciously.
Oh, my jumbo treat, 3 layers deep, 10 cinnamon rolls to eat, and the pizza plus another pizza. The triple G box, only from Pizza Hut.
Go to NFLshop.com and gear up.
We're talking to George Godsey, one of the assistants here. We're going to New England coming up, State Farm post-game show. All the scores are highlights from this early window. There's 7 games in the early window today, and only one of them right now is a single-digit margin. That's Denver by 8 over Carolina.
So all these 1 o'clock games were blowouts, is what they're saying. So hopefully we'll have some good football later on, but we'll see. Might be one of those weekends where it's, just, good wins for first and 10, 4-yard run brings up 2nd and 6. Chiefs going to try to hold on to this lead and run to 12-1 on the year. Bubble screen complete, and Clyde going to be brought down right about a yard or so short of the first down marker, so 3rd and 1. Third and 1 for Kansas City, and then a false start. 5 yards, they'll replay 3rd down. It'll be 3rd and 6. He was going to go in motion, it looked like, maybe. Or he was going to pull from right to left, and just a little, about a second or so too early. False start, so 3rd down. Cardinals 23-7 over the Giants with 8 minutes to play. So the Giants are going to lose. Washington wins then later against the 49ers. They'll be in first place in the NFC East. 3rd and 6 from the 29. Mahomes stepping up. Mahomes going to go down on the sack. So credit both these defenses with all the sacks we've seen today now. That's a 4-yard loss. 4th down for Kansas City, and they'll punt again. So now their defense is going to have to try to at least, Miami out of the end zone to hold on to this 13-point lead they have, so Kansas City can win this game. Field to the 25. Miami on the return. And then he's going to lose some yardage. They should give him forward progress at the 25-yard line. So it should be 1st and 10 Miami from there. We'll see where they spot the ball at. But it's Tua time. Here comes Tua Tagovailoa. Trying to lead the Dolphins to a come-from-behind win after leading 10-0 early on. But now they only trail by 13, 30 to 17. Officially 1st and 10 from the 25-yard line. Out of the gun, empty set. Now the sun's in the middle of the field rather than on the numbers. And then it's caught. And then we got an injury. Yeah, that's a broken wrist, broken hand, broken arm. And it doesn't look good by any means. Maybe a dislocated shoulder. See a replay here. Ball. Ugh. Yeah, he's going to have a broken hand, wrist, or arm, it looks like. Right arm. He's going to be done for the year. That's going to suck. Who is that? Gesicki? Is that Gesicki? Is that one of the other tight ends they have? We'll find out when we return, but it'll be a second down for the Dolphins following this injury timeout. Want to make one thing clear as well, YouTube. Of course, do not own any audio by any means other than my voice with me, myself, your host, the Encyclopedia of Sports, Cool Hand Luke 96, talking, myself speaking here with live reactions, play-by-play. Of course, that's coming from the TV, from the game, during the game and commercial breaks. So there's been a few times recently where for some reason it's been flagged for, whatever it was or may be. Of course, yes, I do not own audio in that regard, but when I'm doing what I'm doing, there's no way to change it or stop it. Like the copyright of a broken right arm potentially. No, but as I was saying, I'm not taking that and using it in or for my advantage. It's fair use. So. Okay, sorry for any technical difficulties. By any means, we'll recap with everything I was just. Second and 4 from the 42 led to a 1st and 10 before this last incompletion intended for Mac Hollins. Deep down the middle from Tua. But once again, sorry for any technical difficulties by any means with buffering, disconnect, and reconnect. Don't know why it's doing it a lot right now, but here we are. We'll move on. Second 10 from the 49 to complete the 40-yard line. But the Dolphins, by the looks of it, are going to be without Mike Gesicki for the rest of the year following his injury. One play back on offense after his second touchdown in the afternoon, which is going to be a huge blow. Looks to be a right arm, something right hand, right wrist, broken right arm. He walked off, though, with some help, but he's going to be done for, it looks like, for the rest of the year, which, as mentioned, it's going to be a big blow to the Miami Dolphin offense because, like I just said, he's arguably their best player other than Tua and Devontae Parker. Parker doesn't really even do a whole lot anymore, though. Another interception in the end zone, they say incomplete. So with 7.5 to play here, it's going to bring up, as that was intended for Malcolm Perry, the former midshipman from Annapolis, Maryland, Naval Academy, Army, over Navy yesterday in America's game, 15-0. Yeah, they say incomplete. I don't know. That might be a pick. No, okay, it hit the ground. Yeah, it hit the ground there. Okay, and it's incomplete. So it'll be 2nd and 10 from the 37. 2-0 dropping back. It's caught at the 24. He was never touched. He's not down yet. Gets up to the 18. 1st and 10 from there now for the Miami offense. But as mentioned with the copyright issue that I was just discussing, of course, yes, don't own any audio other than myself with what I'm saying, and everything else is coming from these games that I'm watching on TV. So don't understand why stuff as of late's been flagged for whatever it's been. And yeah, I'm not trying or using it for myself or as an advantage for myself by any means. It's fair use. So I just don't get why, when all because of whether it's one song or one note of 3rd and 2, and then a 1st and goal now for the Miami offense after Tua just decided to tuck and run. First and goal after the 3rd and 2, and then, yeah, Kansas City might have jumped off sides there. They throw the penalty flag. Offside on KC. It was caught around the 5-yard line. So we'll see. It's 1st and goal, but we'll see where they spot the ball, whether it's half the distance. So 1st and goal from the 4 now. But then we did have a little pushing and shoving there. Almost turned into a fight with the Dolphins once again. So maybe they're the problem, not the Bengals. That's pass interference. Yeah, that's a good call. You gotta play the ball, not the receiver. Foul occurred in the end zone. Ball going to be spotted at the 1-yard line. Be 1st and goal again for the Dolphins. And the refs are allowing my. So now 1st and goal from the 1 after the pass interference in the end zone. So PI in the end zone. It's 1st down at the 1, as it is. 1st and goal at the 1. It's a false start. They don't call it. Handoff out of the I, and Kansas City stuffs them. Kansas City stuffs them. Once again, sorry for any technical difficulties by any means with buffering, disconnect, and reconnect. Doing it a lot right now. No, you got to play the ball, not the receiver. And they're going to call that any time, any day of the week. So they do, and then play later, right then, no gain on the run. So 2nd goal now from the 1-yard line. Out of the I. Another fake the give, actually. Tua going to the tight end. And then they throw another flag. This is going to be a defensive hold on the Chiefs. They say pass interference on Hitchens. And they're giving the Dolphins another 1st and goal from the 1-yard line. That's why I was just saying. The refs are allowing the Finns to come back and make this a ball game, as it was earlier. 10-0 and then 30 unanswered. Now 30-17, a few plays away from a 6-7 point ball game with under 5 to play. But I mean, those penalties are no brainers. They're no doubt pass interference. The one was, at least. The first one was. I don't know about that. Quarterback sneak. Tua Tagovailoa in the end zone. Touchdown, Miami. Touchdown. And it'll be 30-23 pending the extra point. So Miami's only going to be down 6 if it's up and good at 30-24, with 4:15 to play, needing a touchdown to win it if they can hold Kansas City again on offense. But Mahomes and the Chief offense are going to have to do something when they get the ball back here. Try to run the clock out, get extra point going to be up and good. Dolphins cut it to 6 with 4:15 to play. The Chiefs still lead 30-24. But just as Miami led early 10-0, Kansas City scoring 20 unanswered to get to 30-10, or 30 unanswered, to get to 30-10. They led 14-10 at the half. Kansas City has allowed Miami to come back and score 14 unanswered to cut it to 6 at 30-24 with 4 and change to play. So, still going to come down to the wire here. This is going to be interesting. Yeah. Dolphins on the kickoff, maybe a surprise onside. No, they kick it deep. And it's going to be a touchback, 1st and 10, Chiefs from 25-yard line. This game is going to come down to the wire. All Kansas City has to do is run this clock out. They have a 6-point lead, run the ball, open up the screen, maybe take a deep shot or two. You have Mahomes. Tua going to be looking for a come from behind win here in his rookie year, but still no running game for Clyde or Bell for the Chief offense here. 1st and 10 from 25. Maybe go to Kelsey a few more times. Just don't turn the ball over. You turned it over 4 times already. And you've seen what Miami's been able to do. If I'm the Chiefs, just don't turn the ball over. You've seen what Miami's been able to do with your turnovers, and it's led to points. And now they only trail by 6, and you can't do anything in the second half. Hardly. I mean, I get you're up 14-10, and you scored back-to-back quick, with a few touchdowns and a safety in this third, now 4th quarter. But we'll see if they can hold on to the lead or not. Defense going to have to step up if Miami does get the ball back. They can't do anything here because the touchdown's going to win it for them at that point. But got a flag. It's probably going to be coming back. So, or actually a personal foul face mask on the Dolphin defense. So 15 yards, automatic 1st down for the Chiefs. See about this. Yeah, that's a good call. Officiating's been right down the middle today, I thought. If it's a penalty, call it. If not, don't. Those part, all these today have been penalties. From the 49, 1st and 10. Kelsey in motion. Out of the guns. Number 15, Patrick Mahomes. He's going to hand off. No gain on the play. That's the thing with, surprisingly, both Pittsburgh and Kansas City this year. They're 11-1. But they don't have consistent running games. Which is just, how is that possible? Because their defenses, and they can, with all the weapons the quarterbacks have, get the ball downfield and have as many explosive plays as they've had all season long to get to 11-1. So, still need more consistent running. You're going to have to run the ball here late in the season, and in the playoffs you want to win the Super Bowl. But maybe this is Kansas City's playing. Maybe Pittsburgh's playing as well, and then they'll meet in the AFC title, and then, best team goes to Super Bowl. But I'd say Kansas City in the AFC is the best team right now, especially with the way Pittsburgh played last Monday night. But if they play different tonight, okay, that might change. But Kansas City is just, they're unstoppable, it feels like. They lost the Raiders, but then they beat the Raiders, so they split. And then they started out slow last week, started out slow again today, but more so than not today than last week, they got out of it earlier and scored 30 unanswered there because it's 10-0, 30-10, and now they've given up 2 scores back to back to the Dolphins. So they're trying to hold on to this lead now. So we'll see what happens here, but we're down to almost a 2-minute warning. Miami with no timeouts remaining though. Chiefs going to have a 3rd and 1. The Cardinals are going to beat the Giants. It's currently 26-7. We'll see if that ends up as the final score or not. And then if we're going to get some bonus coverage on either of these networks before these 1 o'clock games come to an end. Trips in a bunch near side out of the gun. 3rd and 1. Mahomes going to hand off. Clyde for no, he's going to be stuffed. He got a half a yard, if that. 4th down. Now, of course, Kansas City can let this clock wind for a little bit before calling a timeout of their own, or if in fact going for it, potentially catching them off guard, trying to draw them off sides. Miami can't stop the clock anymore than 2-minute warning. Don't have any timeouts left. So, if you punt, pin them deep, you allow them to drive, or you give them the length of the field. Reed gonna call timeout right now. So with 2.5 to play, 4th and 1. Yeah, you're not gonna kick the field goal here. You'll punt. You pin them deep. You give them the length of the field to go, and if they beat you, they beat you. But you punt, pin them deep. They might go for it here. They're going to call timeout, as they just did. Discuss it. They're going to go for it. Just get up there and sneak it. Or just try to draw them off sides. We can call another timeout. Okay, we're just going to try to draw them off. But then we're going to go deep on 4th and 1. Or maybe an end around or a trick play. Maybe run that Rose Bowl play they scored on in the Super Bowl. But no, if you punt, you pin them deep, they got to drive. They drive the length of the field to score and beat you. But if they do, they do. Meantime, out of the gun, 4th and inches, 4th and a half a yard. Kansas City going to go for it. This is to close it out. Mahomes caught by Hill, 1st down. He's down the far sideline before getting pushed out of bounds. 1st and 10. Clock's going to stop with 2:25 to play. But one more play before the 2-minute warning. And then, honestly, they could run the clock out. So this game's going to be over. Kansas City's going to hold on to win. Might be about 20, 30 seconds maybe. And then Hill's holding his right hamstring, which isn't a good sign. But when you're running as fast as he always does, the Cheetah himself, okay, yeah, you're going to pull a hammy every once in a while. But I'll run another play here. Just hold on to it. Do not turn it over. From the 18, hand off to Clyde. He's going to lose 3 back at 21. And now the thing is, 2 they're in field goal range. So if it comes down to you kick the field goal, you're up 33 if you make it to 24. Miami, there's no way they come back then, regardless if they score and go for the 2. They're down 9. Touchdown at 2 is only 8. They don't have any timeouts. Time's on their side. But if you kick a field goal, you chance, potentially getting blocked and return for a score, which has happened before. So, 2 minutes to play. Chiefs lead the Dolphins 30-24. We're trying to close this game out on the road and pick up their 2nd win in South Beach, Miami, Florida in the past 10 months. One Super Bowl against 49ers, the other would be against Miami. Giving them the number 1 seed in the AFC for a few short hours before Steelers-Bills kick off. But if Pittsburgh beats Buffalo, Pittsburgh would hold on to the number 1. Both teams at 12-1. But Pittsburgh would then lose later on tonight. Kansas City would be the 1. Pittsburgh, of course, the 2. The Cardinals are, in fact, going to beat the Giants 26-7. We'll get some other final stats and scores coming up shortly, so stay tuned for those. Just want to say thank you to everyone currently watching or watching my live reactions while I play live right here on YouTube this afternoon. Hopefully we'll tune back in later on tonight with the Steelers and Bills as well. Going to be a tough blue-collar hard-hitting, bring your hard hat to work type of game with the Steelers and Bills, with Mike Tomlin and Sean McDermott at the helm, two former teammates at William & Mary back in the 1990s, before, of course, both got into coaching and both head coaches in the National Football League. Dan Quinn actually was an assistant back then. He was just fired by the Falcons, though. So, yeah, coaching carousel, college, and the NFL starting to pick up. So we'll get more into, as mentioned, both of those and the College Football Bowl games and NFL playoff predictions, all live right here on YouTube. So be sure to subscribe, hit that notify bell as well. But yes, live reactions, play-by-play of college football, the NFL, and professional wrestling. Still waiting on an announcement from the Big Ten on when the hell games are going to be played next weekend for the Big Ten Champions Week. Something might have been announced over the course of the past few hours. From the 21. Okay, 2nd and 13 from the 21. Toss near side. Clyde going to be brought down to the backfield for a big loss. So now they're on the outside of field goal range, potentially, if they do another one of those. But there is a flag on the play, so we'll see what the penalty flag is. We got a few teams warming up for some action coming up at 4 o'clock with Green Bay and Philly, along with Washington and San Fran. So illegal shift on Kansas City. Penalty's going to be declined. It'll be 3rd and long. About 3rd and 18, I'd say. 3rd and 21 officially from right inside the 30-yard line. So we'll see what Kansas City does here. You'd think they'd run it to run the clock just because Miami cannot call any timeouts. They don't have any timeouts to call. We're under 2 minutes to play, so the clock's continuing to roll and won't stop until it stops. Unless there's an incompletion, then it'd stop. The Bucs beat the Vikings 26-14. So Arizona and Minnesota are going to flip-flop again because Arizona at 7-6 with the win over the Giants. Minnesota at 6-7 with the loss to Tampa. That's playoff implications right there. Titans with a 31-10 win over the Jags. Fourth and 20, so this clock's running right now. Here comes Harrison Butker for a field goal, go up 9. He makes this. This is the game. Chiefs will win. It'll be ball game from 46 yards out if he makes it. Kick's going to be up. Kick's going to be good. That's going to do it. There's still about 1 minute and 8 seconds to play, but the Dolphins down 9. They need a touchdown and a 3-point to tie it. There's no way they get that. He'd have to be quick. They have no timeouts. A rookie quarterback. They'll have the length of the field to dry. There's no way Miami comes back and wins this. Kansas City's going to hold on. Right now, 33-24. We'll see if that's going to be the final score or not. But, potential go-ahead game-winning field goal there with the lead for the Chiefs on the road against Dolphins. 33-24 is the lead right now. The Titans, as mentioned, beat the Jags in Duval 31-10. The Cowboys also won. They beat the Bengals 30-7. Bears over the Texans in Chi-Town. Denver beat Carolina as the Panthers followed up 4-9. They started out strong, but have sort of lost course, just like a few other teams. But the AFC playoff picture, you got the Steelers, Chiefs, Bills, and Titans as your division winners right now. Browns, Dolphins, and Colts with the Raiders, Patriots, and Ravens in the hunt. NFC, Saints, Packers, Rams, and Washington with Seattle, Tampa, and Arizona as wild cards because Arizona won and Minnesota lost, and then a few other teams as well. But as mentioned, we'll get more into all this later on tonight during Sunday Night Football. So be sure to tune back in then for more live reactions, play-by-play of Steelers and Bills, as the Chiefs now lead by 9, 33-24. Yeah, there's no way Miami wins this now. No way. 1st and 10 from the 25-yard line. 2nd and 2 after a scamper of 8 yards at the 34-yard line. Officially 2nd and 1, 9 yards on the run. And it's going to be picked off at midfield by the Chiefs. So all Patrick Mahomes has to do now, or actually they say it hit the ground, it's incomplete. Miami going to keep possession, 3rd down and 2. 3rd and 1, actually, after that 9-yard run. And then the incompletion that almost was picked off, but all Mahomes would have had to have done there was, yeah, that's an incomplete pass. Would just take a knee, of course. But the Dolphins going to keep it for the time being right now. From the 34. Tua going deep. Now it's going to be picked off. But there's a penalty flag, and this is probably going to be a defensive pass interference. Yeah, it's pass interference, but who's it on? That's the question. Pass interference on the Chief defense. 15 yards, or an actual spot foul, excuse me. Automatic 1st down for Miami. Yeah. And all these teams are playing each other today, too. With the strength of schedule. Miami, Buffalo, Pittsburgh, and Chiefs. Yeah. From the 48, 1st and 10. Pass over the middle, caught at the 25-yard line, and then a big hit. But Miami can't stop it. They got to hurry up and spike it here. 25 seconds and counting, 1st and 10. You got to clock it. Okay, they clock it with 21 seconds. They're still down 9, though. There's no way they win this. No way you can come back and win this. They have to score like now and then get an onside kick and then return that for a score. Okay, they're going to kick a field goal right now and then go for an onside, and if they get it, try to score again and win the game. But Sanders already missed from 45. This on 2nd down and 10 with 21 seconds to play is from 44. So, he's got to make this to get the onside kick. He does. Kicks up and good. So now it's 33-27. Back to a 6-point game with 16 seconds. So Miami's going to have to get an onside kick. They get an onside kick and score, they're going to win. And then it'd go back to Kansas City giving Miami a little too much time remaining. I still think Kansas City's going to win this. There's no way Miami. Hardly ever anymore. Nobody recovers an onside kick. And then one either returns it or scores then with little to no time remaining, a play or two later to win the game. There's no way. I'd be shocked. But it is 2020, so here we are. Why the hell not? Yeah, 3 for 55 on onside kicks this year in the NFL. That's why they want to do away with it. From the 35 on the onside kick, and it's going to be recovered by Kansas City, and that'll do it. The Chiefs are going to win at the Dolphins, 33-27. Got some pushing and shoving, but game's over. Miami can't stop the clock. All Mahomes has to do now is take 1-0 down, and that's your ball game, folks. Kansas City going to win by 6, 33-27. And what was a 10-0 game, and then Kansas City scored 30 unanswered, up 30-10. The Dolphins were getting blown out before they came back, and we've had a few scoring drives here as of late, but your final score is going to be 33-27. Patrick Mahomes going to finish 24 or 34 for 393 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. Kansas City rushing, still not there. Hill had the carry for 32 yards on the end round for a score. Clyde Edwards-Helaire finished 16 carries for 32 yards. Bell 2 of 21. Mahomes 5 carries for 9 yards. He's also sacked 3 times. Mahomes with the nail down there. Chiefs victorious, now 12-1 with a 33-27 win in Miami for the second time this year against the Dolphins. Of course, the last time was against the 49ers in the Super Bowl, but they win by 6 today, 33-27 over the Fins, and get to 12-1. Pittsburgh, Buffalo later on tonight, so we'll get into the playoff picture then. But for now, Kansas City is in fact the number 1 overall seed because Pittsburgh has not played yet today. They play later tonight against the Bills on Sunday Night Football. Kansas City receiving, Travis Kelce had 8 catches for 136 yards and a score. Tyreek Hill, 3 for 79 and a score as well. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, 5 catches, 59 yards. So, I mean, he almost had 100 total yards out of the backfield, which is the dual threat type of running back that he is. Sammy Watkins also had 2 catches, 52 yards. Whereas Hardman had 3 catches for 40 yards, Bell 2 of 14, and then DeMarcus Robinson had 1 catch for 13 yards. In the first half, the Chiefs had 4 turnovers, though, with 3 of them coming from Mahomes on interceptions and then a fumble after another big explosive play. It seems like they'd hit the explosive play, and then a play or two later, or even on that play, they turn it over. And Miami capitalized for the most part on some, but not enough. Kansas City's defense a little bit better, holding them to 6 points fewer than, of course, what Kansas City put up on the board. So 33-27 your final score. Tua finished 28 of Tua was also sacked, though, 4 times for 29 yards. So credit to both defenses. They got a lot of pressure on both quarterbacks here this afternoon. Made them make some plays, make some throws and runs that they didn't want to. Saw how many turnovers. The Chief defense won Kansas City the game today, but they need to run the ball better, as does Miami. A lot of teams do. You need to find a run game this late in the season, especially if you want to get to the playoffs and win and get to the Super Bowl. Washington had 13 carries for 35 yards against his former team. Tua also had 6 carries for 24 yards and a score. Whereas Bowden receiving had 7 catches for 82 yards. Mac Hollins 5 of 66. Mike Gesicki, before he went out with his potential season-ending injury, had 5 catches for 65 yards and 2 touchdowns. So both Tua Tagovailoa touchdown passes went to 88, the Penn State alum, and Mike Gesicki. Grant 3 of 32. Adam Shaheen 2 catches as well for 26 yards. Whereas Durham Smythe 2 for 19. And then Washington also had 2 catches for 17 yards out of the backfield as well. But the Chiefs, your winners over the hosting Miami Dolphins by a final score of 33-27 here this afternoon. The Cardinals also beat the Giants, as mentioned, 26-7. Bears 36-7 over the Texans. As the Texans, along with the Jets potentially, they still haven't fired Adam Gase, and the Jaguars with the Falcons and even Chargers, if they fire Anthony Lynn, will be looking for new head football coaches, along with the Lions as well, as they are about to kick off with the Packers. But the Chiefs 6-point winners on the road, 33-27 over the Dolphins. Once again, Cardinals 26-7 against the Giants. 36-7. The Bears beat the Texans 30-7. Cowboys over the Giants. Cowboys over the Bengals, excuse me. As the Giants, that's 3 triple sevens with the losers, Giants, Texans, and Bengals, all only scoring 7 points today and giving up 26 plus. Okay, so Kansas City with a win, 33-27 over Miami. Arizona, 26-7 once again over the Giants. 36-7 Bears defeating the Houston Texans. Cowboys, 30-7 over the Bengals. Tampa just defeated Minnesota, as mentioned as well, 26-14. As the Cardinals and Vikings now switch spots in the wild card hunt in the NFC playoffs. On the AFC side of things, the Steelers just clinched a spot with as with the playoff scenarios, Pittsburgh would clinch a playoff berth with a win, or a Raider, Dolphin, or Titan loss. But the Raiders just got underway. The Titans won, but however the Chiefs beat the Dolphins. So Pittsburgh in the playoffs at 11-1. They clinch a playoff berth. However, Pittsburgh to clinch the AFC North, they'll have to win tonight and then have Cleveland lose tomorrow night and Monday night. If not, we'll keep this going to Week 17, as we'll have 2 games Week 17 with potential flex availability, a flex option to Sunday Night Football with Pittsburgh and Cleveland and Miami and Buffalo, as Miami falls to 8-5 with a loss against the Chiefs. The Broncos, as I mentioned, also beat the Panthers 32-27. No bonus coverage by any means here today. We'll have some 4 o'clock games kickstart now, but the Titans beat the Jags as well, 31-10. Still to come, Packers, Lions, Saints, Eagles, along with the Falcons and the Chargers, Washington football team, formerly known as Washington Redskins, and the San Francisco 49ers. And then, in the meantime, the Colts and Raiders have kicked off from Vegas. Indy leads 3-0 mid-first quarter, as the Seahawks at home lead the winless 0-12 Jets as well, 7-3 midway through the first. As well, Sunday Night Football, Steelers, Bills, Monday Night Football, Ravens, Browns. Hopefully you'll tune in live right here on YouTube for more live reactions, play-by-play of college football, the NFL, and professional wrestling. Beginning tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern Time for NFL Sunday Night Football, as the Pittsburgh Steelers visit the Buffalo Bills. I'll have more on that game. Then, thank you for tuning in and watching Chiefs Dolphins live reactions, play-by-play live right here on YouTube. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe, as always, on social media if you haven't done so already. Links in the description below, and hopefully I'll see everybody at 8 o'clock for Steelers and Bills during NFL Sunday Night Football during this NFL Week 14, that for the most part, all these 1 o'clock games have been blowouts. Hopefully we'll get a good game or 2 during this 4 o'clock window, and then in prime time tonight on Sunday night with Pittsburgh and Buffalo. But the Chiefs 33-27 winners over the Dolphins. So everybody now at 8 o'clock for Steelers Bills on Sunday Night Football.